picking that leg up, man. You might pull a hamstring.
Don't be going after Coach, man. Don't be going after Coach. He's a former offensive lineman.
Quit picking on coaches today.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let me tell you, one thing we do know, Coach Wonside is not a place kicker.
No.
Rob, Matt, Rich Rod back here with you. Let's talk about determining factors to this one as the Washington band makes their way off the field and the players get set to take their place on the field. Turnovers are always such a critical stat in any game, particularly a championship-type format.
I think, obviously, in typical coach speak, I'll tell you the team that wins is the one that can create turnovers and not give up the big play. But the key to creating turnovers is putting the other team in predictable situations, like 3rd and long. So it'll be interesting to watch if Washington's front can get pressure without blitzing and create some turnovers. And now I get to go out, because I play both teams, I get to go out and root for nobody. So I can't wait for that.
No, go do some recruiting on that phone while you got a little
I'll be
break,
doing
my
some
friend.
recruiting.
I know you got plenty to go tomorrow. Washington, they've forced a nation's best 30 turnovers this season. For you, you want some balance from the Buffalo offense.
Yeah, I want balance. If you go back to the 2 losses earlier this season, we talked about their lack of running the football. I think they have to commit to the run, whether it's Philip Lindsay or Sefa Lufau, who's been so effective, and that creates so much success for them throwing the football. So for me, it starts on the ground. Sefa Lufau, Philip Lindsay, that could lead them to a victory tonight.
It's a young Washington team, a more mature Colorado side. How, though, does that really impact this game?
As crazy as it sounds, sometimes experience will hurt you if you think about the outcome instead of the next play. So Colorado's experience, they just got to enjoy the moment and play as hard as they can.
Washington with the win. Most figure they're off to the college football playoffs. Colorado with the victory would win their first ever Pac-12 football title. Rich Rod and I will see you next at halftime. Now we go upstairs to the call. Joe Davis and Brady Quinn.
We cannot wait to get this one started, Rob Stone. The Pac-12 championship game and a couple of first-timers in this game. A top 10 matchup between Colorado and Washington. And you said it, Rob. Washington believes with a win it will be in the college football playoff, sitting right now at number 4. And Colorado thinks that it has a case as well if they can get a little bit of help. Maybe Virginia Tech knocks off Clemson in the ACC championship game, and Colorado would have somewhat of an argument going into the rankings on Sunday. And we say welcome inside. Joe Davis with Brady Quinn. Jenny Taft joins us in just a bit. So how do we get here? Colorado, Brady, 5-40 in his first 5 years in the Pac-12. They've gone 8-1 to win the South. Nobody thought they'd be here. I think with Washington in the 3rd year under Chris Peterson, though, people hoped that they would arrive in this spot.
Yeah, and really, what's at stake for tonight? You talked about it a second ago. Washington with a win, they're in. They're into the college football playoff. We'll see where they're ranked. And for Colorado, I do believe they have the case. We'll try to make that case tonight if they can win, but at the very least, a trip to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's not a bad consolation prize if they weren't to make the playoff after a win. When you think Pac-12, a lot of times you think offense, high scoring, but in the championship game, we have the top 2 defenses in the conference.
Yeah, and very similar in style when you look at these 2 teams and how they play. They try to control the line of scrimmage up front. They're going to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, negative plays in the backfield, and then they've got the playmakers in the back end to be able to come down with turnovers. They are the best team in the country, and for Colorado, it's Jimmy Gilbert, Josh Tupou, Jordan Carroll, the big boys up front. They're going to put pressure on as well, and then a very opportunistic defense in the back end. A lot of post-high safety, a lot of extra guys around the line of scrimmage trying to stop the run. So they put a lot of pressure on those cornerbacks in the back end.
I know you're not going to let us get through this segment without talking a little bit of quarterback play, right? And we got a pretty good one on Washington side. Same thing for Colorado. But let's talk Jake Browning, a Heisman candidate for the Huskies.
Yeah, and the thing I love about Jake Browning is he's so cerebral. He understands what a defense is trying to accomplish, and he knows how to attack their weaknesses. Look, he looks off the defense to the right. He knows where he wants to go with the football. He takes a shot downfield to Dante Pettis earlier this season against Oregon. This is what Jake Browning has excelled at this season. 40 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He is a legitimate Heisman candidate.
Colorado, the South Division champs after 5 consecutive last place finishes, looking for their first conference title since they were in the Big 12 back in 2001. Washington trying to win its first conference title since 2000 with its sights set on the college football playoff.
There are just some things you have to do when you live in this climate. They're not always fun. Well, okay. Sometimes they're fun.
Now on sale at your locally owned True Value. A DeWalt 20-volt lithium-ion compact drill driver for $99.99. an aluminum flashlight, and a big sky fire pit. Behind every project is a true value.
There are those who love sriracha and those who haven't tried it. And for a limited time, Wendy's Bacon Sriracha Fries are the perfect introduction. Sriracha-infused aioli and applewood smoked bacon, all for $1.99. And at Wendy's, there's more sriracha to come.
Welcome back to Levi's Stadium. It's now time to meet the teams who will compete in tonight's game. From the start of the season, the Washington Huskies have been one of the nation's most dominant teams. Led by a Heisman contender at quarterback and a defense loaded with 9 all-conference players, the Huskies are in prime position to reach the college football playoff. The champions of the Pac-12 North, the Washington Huskies.
Husky Nation, stand up.
Still on his feet, down the sideline. That was fast, ladies and gentlemen. All the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
The Washington Huskies, winners of the Pac-12 North, with a hard-nosed defense and a potent offense. The purple is ready to reign once again. The resurgent Huskies look to continue their return to prominence in the Pac-12 championship game.
The purple rain is coming.
You dub. You dub. This is our night. We are the Washington Huskies.
The number 4 team in the country, the Washington Huskies. The Colorado Buffaloes have pulled off one of the greatest turnarounds in conference history. Unranked in the preseason and picked to finish last in the South, the Buffs have climbed all the way to the brink of the playoff discussion. One win from their first Pac-12 title, the champions of the South. These are the Colorado Buffaloes.
It's been a long journey, but Colorado has returned to the spotlight. And the Buffs are ready to prove that this is where they belong.
It's been a long time since it's meant this much.
Welcome to the fight.
Backing down is not an option.
Nothing comes easy.
This is a team bred for battle.
Rise up.
Relentless from start to finish.
Race to the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado.
Time to silence the doubters.
This is Colorado football. Can't bring me down.
The number 8 team in the country, the Colorado Buffaloes. We are just about set to go. It's Washington and Colorado in the Pac-12 championship game coming up.
Thank you for calling. We'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, right.
Xerox Predictive Analytics help companies provide a better and faster customer experience.
Hello, Mr. Kent. Can I rebook your flight?
Xerox Customer Care Services, soon to be Conduent.
Mr. Kent?
Shark diving.
Xerox personalized employee portals help companies make benefits simple and accessible from anywhere.
Hula dancing.
Cliff jumping.
Xerox Human Resource Services, soon to be Conduent.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground was where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and shooting some b-ball outside the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood, I got in one little fight and my mom got scared and said, Arby's, we have the meats.
Wow, you're really festive?
Well, this time of year, there's plenty to be festive about.
Like what?
You smell like nutmeg. Like the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event. It's your last chance of the year to save big on every new Hyundai.
Oh, I'm feeling more festive already.
Wait, did you say save big?
Yep.
Oh, I think I hear holiday music now.
Oh, no, that's just my ringtone.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. This is the reason to buy now. Get up to $2,500 off the new Sonata during Hyundai holidays.
Back in Santa Clara, top 10 showdown for the Pac-12 championship tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove any hats. Here to present our nation's colors, please welcome the Travis Air Force Base Honor Guard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please remain standing. Here to perform our national anthem, Tony Award winner, Grammy-nominated actress and singer, Bay Area native Lena Hall.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the coin toss. Joining head referee Len Clark on the field are the team captains from 4th ranked Washington and 8th ranked Colorado.
Gentlemen, congratulations and welcome to the Pac-12 Championship. We're going to flip this coin. We're going to call that heads, tails. Heads, tails. Captain, what is your call?
Tails.
The call is tails. And it is tails. You've won the toss.
Defer.
Colorado has won the toss and elected to defer. You see? Which way you want? Just as you are? Washington's choice this half, they will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
Good luck, man.
Colorado's won 12 tosses in their 13 games this season. Opening kickoff approaching on the other side of this break.
over PAC, but my guy knows what to bring. Like Viagra single packs for ED.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra single packs.
There are just some things you have to do when you live in this climate. They're not always fun. Well, okay. Sometimes they're fun.
Now on sale at your locally owned True Value. A DeWalt 20-volt lithium-ion compact drill driver for $99.99. An aluminum flashlight. And a Big Sky fire pit. Behind every project is a True Value.
2 people can eat all this food for $9.99.
And it's all my favorites.
Yeah.
2 Conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks.
Yeah.
It's like I'm seeing double.
Totally. Speaking of double, look. Maybe they want to hang out.
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
Just be cool,
I'll
man.
be cool.
No, you're
I
not
know
gonna
how to be cool.
You're gonna be.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
2 can eat for $9.99, so everyone can try our classic crispy chicken sandwich all month long and get buy one, get one free wings Monday through Thursday. This is how you Sonic.
Walk on, ancient queen. Follow those who pale in your shadow. Did you make it cry? Make it break down? Shadow your in the past. Now tell me, is it over now? Do you know how to pick up the pieces and go?
Rated M for mature.
The Pac-12 Championship on Fox is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, and down on the field with Mike McIntyre is Jenny Taft.
Joe, thank you. Well, Coach, you have led Colorado to the biggest turnaround in Pac-12 history. Tonight, the championship. What makes this team so special?
Adversity. By the grace of God, our guys looked adversity right in the face, and you can either let it break you or you can let it make you. These young men let it make them. And, you know, we always say welcome to the fight. So, Buff Nation, welcome to the fight. Here we go.
All right, best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Joe.
All right, Jenny, and on the other sideline is Chris Peterson, hoping to lead his Huskies to the college football playoff in his 3rd season. Colorado won the toss, deferred to the second half. Washington to get it to begin. That is John Ross, one of the nation's most dangerous return men. Chris Graham kicks it. Off we go in the Pac-12 championship. And it's hooked out of bounds. 1 week after Colorado plays an entire game without a penalty, the presence of John Ross leads Chris Graham to hooking this thing out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team number 15 by roll the ball, replaced at the 35-yard line. First down, Washington.
And so Brady, the number 3 offense in the country, and the best offense they've ever had at Washington, begins at the 35-yard line. What are we watching for?
It's the most dynamic duo in the country. 30 combined touchdowns between John Ross and Dante Pettis. But tonight, they face their greatest challenge, the number 1 defense in the Pac-12. They're very opportunistic on the back end.
So from the 35, Washington to get it going. And a first down pass play. Browning wants to take a shot. He's got Ross in double coverage, and it's incomplete. A flag flies. Boy, Tedrick Thompson, his safety, never turned to find the ball. And he and Witherspoon come together on Ross.
Pass interference. Defense number 9. A 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
You see number 9, Tedrick Thompson, basically just looks to get a hit on John Ross instead of trying to make a play for the football. And the key there was that ball was underthrown. Jake Browning's had a tendency to do that from time to time this year. It's tough when you've got a guy like John Ross with all that speed to be able to lead him. You got to get that ball out early.
So already out to midfield. And Myles Gaskin, first team all-conference running back with his first touch and a gain of 1. Samson Kafavalu Comes up with a stop, and it's 2nd and 9. Jake Browning, the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, has 40 touchdowns this season, 3rd in Pac-12 history.
And only 7 interceptions, and what that tells you is he's a good decision maker. You'll see him audible and change the play at the line of scrimmage, a very cerebral quarterback.
Browning making a change at the line on 2nd and 9. Here's Levon Coleman coming off one of his best games, and he powers his way for a first down inside the 40. More than 8 yards per carry for Coleman. That's the best yards per carry average in the conference since Reggie Bush.
They just call him a football player. He plays on special teams as well. Had a touchdown saving tackle a week ago. A lot of bursts, a lot of speed to him. They'll mix him in with a little bit of the screen game as well.
First down from the 38. Coleman again. Big hole off the left side, and Levon Coleman is inside the 15. 24 yards, and the Dogs on the move on their opening possession.
Well, this is the side of the line they like to work towards. They're all conference tackle. Trey Adams at the left tackle, number 72, getting a pancake at the line of scrimmage, helping to create that hole for Coleman.
Now Washington, Brady, trying to do something nobody's done against Colorado this year, and that is score on the opening possession. Now Washington, the best first quarter team in America. Myles Gaskin shifting his way to the 5, and he's thrown down by Awuzie. But a gain of 7, and it's 2nd and 3.
One of the toughest things to prepare for when you're going against Washington is their first series of plays. They throw a lot of things at you. They spread the football around. They mix in different personnel groupings. They're trying to get a feel for what you'd like to do. And there's Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator for Washington. He's done a tremendous job this season.
2nd down and 3 from the 5. Gaskin. He's close to a first down. First team all-conference running back, more than 1,000 yards in both of his seasons at Washington. And it is an off first down and goal for this Washington offense that is as good as any in the country at finishing off red zone trips with touchdowns.
This is the area of the field. You don't see Jake Browning run much, but we have seen him keep the football on a zone read before this year a couple times. He's athletic enough to hurt you running the football. Now that's not going to be the case here.
Browning off play action, sets his feet, back of the end zone, and incomplete. Intended for Will Dissly, and it's 2nd and goal.
When you run the football effectively, it helps open up the play action pass game, in particular down around the goal line, where the defense has to make quick decisions. This ball had just a little bit too much on it for Will Dissly to be able to get a hand.
We saw last week in Boulder, Utah moved the ball down here time and again, but in 5 red zone trips, Colorado held them to just 1 touchdown.
So you got to look for John Ross, matched up one-on-one.
Here comes Coleman at the goal line and in. Touchdown Washington on the opening drive.
Look at this left side of the offensive line. They're all Pac-12. Look at the push that they get at the point of attack. And Coleman continues to keep churning to get into the end zone. This game was going to be about the battle in the trenches to see who was going to be able to find balance and run the football. So far, Washington is winning that battle.
Take advantage of a couple of 15-yard penalties on the drive and goes 65 yards in 7 plays. The number 4 team in the country off to a heck of a start. And Colorado's offense to the field for the first time when you come back.
Just me, my beats, unlimited streaming from T-Mobile, and life. These wireless beats is crazy. Where did I even put my phone? With 40 hours of battery, you can really get into it. Even my lawn got a fade now. 3 hours of playback with a 5-minute charge. I like that. Cut the cord, but stay connected. Zero down at T-Mobile.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price. Not here! Not ever!
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price. Not here, not ever.
Well, did you get it?
More people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right. State Farm.
It's the year's biggest event, and we're taking the galaxy by storm. The new 2017 Nissan Rogue has arrived, and it's at your local Nissan dealer during the Go Rogue year-end event. Hurry in for year-end savings on Rogue and the rest of the Nissan lineup. Take on any galaxy. Rogue One, the Star Wars story, in theaters December 16th. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models, or save up to $10,000 on select models.
It's the live Ultimate Fighter finale on FS1. Demetrius Johnson puts his belt on the line against Ultimate Fighter winner Tim Elliott. The Ultimate Fighter finale, Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
The Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is coming up at halftime. Stay tuned to see who will take home $100,000 in tuition from Dr. Pepper. A 7-0 Washington lead as Levon Coleman crashes into the end zone on the Dogs' first drive.
And what we saw was a mixture of personnel groupings. That's the blueprint for Washington. 3 different types of different personnels, shifts, motions, all those sorts of things. Mike McIntyre talked about it. They have to weather the storm early and then settle in.
Mike McIntyre's team will touch it for the first time at the 25-yard line. An up-tempo, balanced spread taking the field for the Buffs. What are we watching for?
Well, they need to develop some big plays, and these are the guys who are going to do it. Devin Ross, Jay Fields, they're the guys they go to when they need to make a play, but they're going up against one of the toughest defenses in the country, and they're very opportunistic. 30 combined turnovers they've gained this year. They seem to always have a knack for finding a way of developing and getting turnovers.
Those takeaways lead the country. This unit loaded with 9 all-conference performers, including those 2 corners you mentioned.
Another element to all this, too, is the running game, and that's going to include Sefo Lufau, Philip Lindsay. When we talk about that back end for Washington, they're going to be isolating a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Lindsay motions out. Lufau gets it in his hands in a hurry. And he cuts it upfield for a gain of 9. So Lufau completes his first toss. A senior from Tacoma, Washington. He took over the starting role midway through his first season. 87 school records for him. Lindsay hit in the backfield and loses a yard. Benning Potoahi with a tackle, and it's 3rd and 2.
Benning Potoahi is a key piece for Washington tonight. You take a look at Sefo Lufau's numbers. He's been prolific, but it's also been the development of him running the football. When you get in these 3rd and short situations, he is a very key potential part, and that's why you see their tight end come in, number 81, Sean Irwin. He a lot of the time leads the way for Lufau.
On 3rd and 2, Shea Fields, a speedster, coming in motion. Lufau runs for a first down and more. Sefo Lufau down at the 40. Tim Linnott Jr., right guard, pulling around the edge, paving the way for 26.
They've been setting people up for the quarterback power, just tipping to the right. They then work a counter off of it, and they catch the Washington defense off guard.
And the Buffs quickly back on the ball. Philip Lindsay Again, penetration from that huge defensive line Washington has, shutting the play down, second down.
Let's go back to a couple plays ago. We talked about Benning Potoahi. He's been playing in replace of Joe Mathis, who was out with injury, and then his backup, Connor O'Brien, who played well in Mathis's place, out because of injury. So that's a key spot to keep an eye on tonight.
And without Azim Victor as well, their leading tackler at linebacker. On second down, Lufau fakes, double clutches, and gets drilled. Sacked by Saul Wojcik back at the 45.
When defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski decided to bring a little pressure as well. As you can see, DJ Beavers comes right through the A-gap, and then Saul Wojcik wraps around for the sack. Sefo Lufau hesitated, and now he's down on the ground grabbing that ankle and suffered a number of injuries this season. Take a look at the hit. You can see him kind of go down awkwardly on that right ankle.
Sefo Lufau, who's dealt with injuries throughout his entire career, down here in the first quarter.
Hey, do we have any more Dr. Pepper?
What is it, man? I gotta go.
Guess I'll just drink this. Hey, thanks, man. You invented the playoff.
Yeah, and you got a really steep driveway. Let's go, Dr. Pepper, here.
It's the year's biggest event, and we're taking the galaxy by storm. The new 2017 Nissan Rogue has arrived, and it's at your local Nissan dealer during the Go Rogue year-end event. Hurry in for year-end savings on Rogue and the rest of the Nissan lineup. Take on any galaxy. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in theaters December 16th. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models, or save up to $10,000 on select models.
Our mission is to produce programs and online content for African women as they try to build their businesses and careers. My name is Yasmin Bello Asage, and I'm a co-founder at She Leads Africa. I definitely could not do my job without technology. This Windows 10 device, the touchscreen, allows you to kind of pinpoint what you're talking about, which makes communication much easier and faster than the old Mac that I used to use. You can configure it in so many different ways. It just, I don't know, it feels really cool. I feel like I'm in the future.
Oh, come on! You're out of line, Coach! What's out of line? It's the fact that I haven't had a chance to introduce KFC's brand new $10 chicken chair! Perfect for 2 people! Whoa! Do these come in 4 different delicious options? You bet! And they're all just $10! Wow! You have any sauce for dipping? Right here! Wow! Football fans are gonna love these! Well, that's the point! Wow! It's finger-licking good!
The Pac-12 Championship is presented by the Dr. Pepper Tuition Giveaway. Learn more at drpeppertuition.com. Dr. Pepper, a college football tradition. So Lufau helped off of the field, looking at that right leg, that ankle that he injured earlier this season, caused him to miss 3 games, and he was holding his knee as well as they took him off. So Steven Montez, who had plenty of time in his spot when he went down with that injury and had success, comes in the biggest of spots. And they'll let him throw on his first play for Philip Lindsay, who cuts to the outside and gets to the 36. Still, he's short. It'll be 4th down and about 4 coming up.
How about that? Backup quarterback, you got to come in on 3rd down, a critical situation, and try to convert. Now you're going to be put in a situation of 4th down. The guy they typically like to work to, and he's got to have it situations, is number 2, Devin Ross. Keep an eye on him. Top of your screen.
On 4th and 5. Huskies bringing it. Montez lets it go, incomplete, and a turnover on downs on Colorado's first possession.
We talked about it. Devin Ross is the player they really like to isolate and try to work to in coverage, but that time too good of coverage by the Washington secondary.
Buda Baker was all over it as he tried to go outside. And Washington with a 7-0 lead takes over after this.
It's the year's biggest event, and we're taking the galaxy by storm. The new 2017 Nissan Rogue has arrived, and it's at your local Nissan dealer during the Go Rogue year-end event. Hurry in for year-end savings on Rogue and the rest of the Nissan lineup. Take on Anti-Galaxy. Rogue One, the Star Wars story, in theaters December 16th. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models, or save up to $10,000 on select models.
It feels good in my heart and my soul, and you're here right beside me. I will never want this day to end. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
There's no one I'd rather hit the road with.
No one I'd rather have dinner and a movie with.
No one I'd rather lean on. Being in love is an amazing thing. Being in love with your best friend is everything. The Ever Us 2-stone ring. 1 diamond for your best friend, 1 for your true love. For the one woman in your life who's both. Ever Us. Available at Kay, Jared, and Zales.
Faster. 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 On that old PC, you should retire that too. You know.
I know. New PCs are lightning fast to play 4K video.
And yet here is the world's fastest swimmer on the world's slowest computer.
You know about it. Now do something about it. Upgrade to a new PC powered by Intel.
So why haven't you upgraded?
It keeps me humble.
I think she's dead.
The Meg, January 1st.
What's everybody thinking for dinner?
We just ate breakfast.
Well, good morning.
On Fox.
We mentioned Cephalufau injuring that same leg against Michigan when it was a tight game, but he's out of the game now, injuring that right leg.
Yeah, really, Colorado led for the majority of that game, even into the third quarter, and once Cephalufau exited, that's when the Buffs started to have some issues.
So they're taking care of him on the sideline right now, trying to get him back into this game, which Washington leads 7-0. And Jake Browning back to work. All day to throw. Long throw to Pettis, and too tall, defended by Awuzie. The only time teams have been able to slow Washington is when they've been able to move Jake Browning off his spot in the pocket, and he stood back there like a statue that time.
We talked about in the first drive, the Washington offensive line winning the battle up front, in particular in the running game. We saw a couple big runs from the Huskies, but also in pass protection. You got to think defensive coordinator Jim Leavitt may have to bring some additional pressure, and you can't just live with a 4-man rush.
Levon Coleman has Washington's touchdown tonight. He's got a solid gain to the 45. 8 yards, 3rd and 2. Let's check in with Jenny Taft.
I've been watching Cephalufau now, and I can tell you that the shoe is going back on. I think you guys are watching that. He did have it retaped on that right ankle. Initially, they were looking at that right knee, but Montez came over. He said, "Are you good?" He looked like he's going to give it a go, guys. Coach Shiverini also coming over to check on him. If we know anything about Cephalufau, the guy is a fighter. He's going to want to try it.
And just a warrior. I mean, and this young man has battled through so many injuries, and he's come back time and time again.
3rd down and short. Myles Gaskin straight downhill, lowers the shoulder and gets a Washington 1st down to midfield.
They're hitting down there. Dedrick Thompson came out of the secondary and did all he could to try to stop the conversion, but it's going to be a lot of what we're going to see tonight, I think, from both sides. A lot of hard hitting, tough yards to be gained, in particular in 3rd down, some of those 3rd and short situations.
Top 2 defenses in the conference. Both teams making their first appearance in the Pac-12 championship game. Gaskin into the short side of the field. Such a patient runner, able to turn the corner for 3 and thrown out of bounds by Laguda. 2nd down.
His patience really comes from the fact that he's so good at waiting for his offensive lineman to get out in front and give him an opportunity. They have been little bit of unnecessary roughness when you look at the way Laguda threw down Myles Gaskin at the end, but officials don't seem to feel like that's the case. And look at Sefo Liufau. You got to be thinking he's probably going to try to give it another shot and get back out there.
2nd down, 6. In motion comes McClatcher. Out of the Wildcat, Gaskin's got it. A 1st down with a flag down. Gaskin to the 39, but a flag thrown. Actually, a flag kind of like fell out of the official's hand as he tried to throw it. And then he picked it up and tossed it to the spot where it belonged. Here's Land Clark.
Holding. Offense number 56. A 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's the right guard, Nick Harris.
A true freshman. And they've had a hard time at that spot this year. Look at Washington. They've mixed in a bunch of guys at that right guard position. Shane Brostick as well. Nick Harris. They haven't really felt like they've been able to settle in on anyone. So I guess they're going with the younger guy. They feel like he's got more upside. Mistake early on in this game. A little bit uncharacteristic of this Washington team.
They're the least penalized team in the Pac-12, although they had some penalty issues early against Washington State in the Apple Cup last week. On 2nd and 16, Colorado bringing 4. Browning throwing to the sideline and incomplete. It's 3rd and long.
You don't see that too often. Jake Browning to the right side of the field is deadly accurate. In particular on out routes like that, timing routes like that. Usually he's right on point. Where he struggles is these situations, which most quarterbacks do in 3rd and long. But when they're must-passing situations, you talked about it. When teams move him off the spot, that's when he becomes less accurate as a quarterback.
That is what USC was able to do in Washington's lone loss. They sacked him 3 times. He was on the move most of the night. 3rd down, 16 for the Huskies. A twist up front, getting pressure on Browning. Able to step out of it. He'll take off. Needs the 41 and gets it for a Washington 1st down. He runs for 19 on 3rd and 16.
Well, he has 64 yards rushing in the season. That takes into account some sacks, but watch as he tries to look through his progression. No one's there. Jimmy Gilbert almost gets a hand on him, but Jake Browning showing you why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Just when you think you've got him bottled in, pulls out a little bit of athleticism.
And you do exactly what you think you need to slow Washington. That is get him moving. And he beats you. 1st down and 10. A deep drop under pressure and sacked by Kenneth Olabode. The team captain, the local product, from about 15 minutes from here in San Jose.
Kenneth Olabode, one of his best strengths is being able to make a play whenever he blitzes and whenever he sees there's an opportunity. They call that a delay blitz. He saw that window open with a pass protection, had set itself, and he was able to get to Jake Browning before he could find anyone downfield. And the reason being, it was good coverage downfield. He was looking for Chico McClatcher, couldn't find him. Good coverage in the back end for Colorado.
Kenneth told us this week we got to sit down with him that he toured Levi's Stadium while it was being built, going to high school a 5-minute trip from here. Lavon Coleman hit by a blitzing Ryan Mulder. And Colorado's defense getting it going. 3rd and long.
Ryan Mulder has been playing someone as the nickel back. You're going to see him come off this right side of the screen. They like to bring the pressure from the nickel position because they feel like it helps to set an edge of their defense. That time, it's all effort and speed by Moeller to track down Coleman before he can get started.
The sack and then the tackle for loss. And it's 3rd and 19. Jake Browning bunched 4 receivers into the wide side. Now Gaskin stands by his side. Chico McClatcher, blockers in front. Up to the 36. And it's 4th down and 8.
Chico McClatcher averages 20 yards a catch, leads the Pac-12. They try to get him the football in a variety of ways on screens, shots downfield, things of that nature. I think if you're Chris Peterson, this area of the field, too long for a field goal, maybe too close. We'll look at punting the football. Now they have been known to quick kick.
Yeah. Dick Browning's pretty good at it. Put that on the Heisman reel. Good quick kicker.
I don't know if that's getting you any votes though.
You'll know it by his depth. They're going to go for it. Browning under pressure and sacked at the 45-yard line by the only first-teamer on this defense. It's Jimmy Gilbert. And the Buffs take over. Who will be a quarterback? Will it be Montez? Will Lufau come back in the Pac-12 championship?
It's the year's biggest event, and we're taking the galaxy by storm. The new 2017 Nissan Rogue has arrived, and it's at your local Nissan dealer during the Go Rogue year-end event. Hurry in for year-end savings on Rogue and the rest of the Nissan lineup. Take on any galaxy. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in theaters December 16th. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models, or save up to $10,000 on select models.
What? Oh, hi.
Hello.
Save 10 when you spend 50 on holiday decor and trees at Target.
There are those who love sriracha and those who haven't tried it. And for a limited time, Wendy's Bacon Sriracha Fries are the perfect introduction. Sriracha-infused aioli and applewood smoked bacon, all for $1.99. And at Wendy's, there's more sriracha to come.
Ain't no gift like the present tense. Ain't no love like the whole romance. Got to make hay when the sun shines and can't waste time when it comes time to dance. Long live the heart, long live the soul that knows what it wants.
It's the holidays at Verizon, and the best deals are on the best network. Yes! With no surprise overages, you can use your data worry-free, and even carry over the data you don't use. And right now, get 4 lines and 20 gigs for only $40 per line. And just for the holidays, get the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge for only $15 per month. No trade-in required.
I love you in that. No, I love you in that. No, I love you in that.
Hurry, these offers end soon. Get the best deals and the best network only on Verizon.
The Pac-12 Championship presented by Dr. Pepper is sponsored by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon. By Allstate, proud supporters of college football. It's good to be in good hands. And by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy. Let's go down to Jenny Taff for a report on Sefo Lufau.
Well, the latest, guys, he continues to warm up behind the bench, now getting some passes. And the word from the medical team is we're going to let this decision be Sefo's. We're not sure exactly how bad it is. They've been massaging the knee. Also, that ankle was retaped. So right now, Sefo Lufau trying to figure out how he can get back into the game. And keep in mind, Coach Mack always describing Lufau as the fighter of this team.
Right now, it's Montez, Jenny, and first down and 10 from the 45. This drive begins with a flip to Philip Lindsay, who cuts it upfield on a short gain. A stop made by Kevin King. So obviously the hope for Colorado is that Lufau comes back, but how are they different when it's Montez?
Well, I don't know that they're going to change a whole lot, especially when this sort of thing happens during the course of a game. Montez is going to have to run the game plan, but you better believe the offensive coordinators are going to run some plays that maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable with in the game plan.
Devin Ross on that fly motion. It's a screen, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. There is a flag down. Jalen Johnson got his hand on it.
See co-offensive coordinators Darren Shiverini, Brian Lindgren for Colorado, trying to develop a little confidence for Steven Montez as he gets into the game. A short pass earlier to Philip Lindsay, now a screen.
Holding, defense number 17. A 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
And that's Tevis Bartlett. He's one of the other guys filling in for Joe Mathis. They rotate a number of players through there, tried to identify the screen. But can you go back to their offensive coordinators here at Colorado? They've done a fantastic job of spreading the football around, making it incredibly tough to key in on one guy.
That's Brian Lindgren there. He's the play caller up in the booth. First and 10 after the penalty. Philip Lindsay hit down by Keyshawn Bieria and DJ Beavers. It'll be second down. I don't think that it would work with co-coordinators, especially when you bring one in after the other like they did, unless their personalities were opposite. Opposites attract and work great in this situation. Lindgren's so reserved and quiet. Shiverini, the opposite. Washington shows pressure on second down. Lindsey again runs into a wall. Damian Turpin stopped him in his tracks and made it third down.
That's one of the differences that we're seeing early on from Washington. Typically, versus 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end sets, they like to use 2 defensive tackles. But tonight, they're beefing it up. They're using 3 with that other rush end. You see Damian Turpin here early on in this game. He's going to mix in as well. Elijah Qualls, Vita Vea. All those guys up front for Washington do a tremendous job of getting pushed in the pocket, getting negative plays.
Kyle Evans comes in to join Lindsey in the backfield on 3rd and 7. Montez rolls out of the pocket, trying to turn his shoulders. Across his body has Kyle Evans for a Colorado first down. Heck of a throw by Montez, and only the 8th catch of the season for Evans.
I mean, Montez's first pass this season when he got in this match versus Idaho was for a touchdown. I mean, he's not going to be scared going out playing in this scenario. There's a lot of talk after he was able to start 3 games with the performance that he had. He's got a bright future. I mean, Colorado's looking forward to this young man.
Freshman out of El Paso, Texas. As Colorado to the 24-yard line. He fakes to Lindsey. One-on-one. Shea Fields. First down Bucks. Inside the 10. 20 yards to Colorado's leading receiver, Shea Fields.
This is why Colorado continues to keep running the football. Whether they're having success or not, it doesn't matter. It helps open up lanes in the passing game and the play-action pass.
On 1st and goal, Lindsey carries it left side, has a hole, sticks the shoulder down, and it's 2nd down. Taylor Rapp with a tackle.
And watch tight end number 81, Sean Irwin. Watch him come across and help seal the edge for Philip Lindsey. Hasn't caught a pass all season. When he's in there, he's into their block either for their quarterback or for the running back, Philip Lindsey.
On 2nd and goal, it's Lindsey again. He's in. Touchdown, Colorado. What a response from the Bucks.
Well, the Colorado coaching staff talked about it. They said, we're going to do what we do. They're not going to be worried. They're not going to be scared. And even with the injury to their quarterback, their leader, FRONTHAUL, they go right back to their spark plug of their offense, Philip Lindsey, and get the running game going.
Extra point from Davis Price. And we are tied at 7. Philip Lindsey, he told us he didn't come to Colorado to get his butt whooped for 4 years. Said he came here to leave a legacy, to turn this program around.
P is for privileges. O is for ordinarily I wouldn't. L is for layers of luxury. A is for all the way back. R is for read my mind. And I can't see a thing. S, see you in the morning. Polaris from United.
Ain't no gift like the present tense. Ain't no love like the whole romance. Got to make hay when the sun shines. Can't waste time when it comes time to dance. Long live the heart, long live the soul that knows what it wants.
Score $1,000 in tuition now. Tweet your one-of-a-kind goal with hashtag Dr. Pepper giveaway. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, and Jenny Taft back here in Santa Clara. Top 10 showdown for the Pac-12 championship, and locked at 7 late in the first.
How about that for a response by Colorado? I mean, their defense first hits the stop on 4th down, give it the ball back to their offense, and they ride on the shoulders of Philip Lindsey. First 1,000-yard running back here at Colorado since 2010.
Thomas Graham kicked it out of bounds his first time. This is almost worse. John Ross has his hands on it. Colorado breathes a sigh of relief that they're able to drop in to the 22. America's fastest growing sports show is on FS1.
The college football playoff.
And Skip will still argue that Michigan should be in the playoff.
And I'll be right. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
So Washington back on offense. Touchdown drive their first time out there. But on their second possession, Colorado started to get some pressure on Jake Browning.
Well, they've got to have better success on first and second down. They found themselves in third and long situations twice on that last drive, and going for it on fourth down. Really, they didn't have much of a chance.
Some of that patented pre-snap movement in this Washington offense. On the 22-yard line, the drive begins with a Myles Gaskin run. And Gaskin has 5. Stop made by Afolabi Laguda. Really, it's turned into a two-headed monster running back. Coleman had kind of fallen off the face of the earth last year with Gaskin having such a good freshman year. But Coleman, as we saw in the opening drive, has reemerged in a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and there's such a contrast in style. You look at Levon Coleman, he's really a home run hitter. When he gets a seam, he can take it to the house. Myles Gaskin is quick, especially in tight spaces, but just doesn't have quite the same top end speed.
Like the final play of the first quarter. On 2nd and 5, Colorado brings the blitz. Myles Gaskin trying to gash it. He's got a first down up to the 36 and up to the 39. Canadolo Bode getting the stop. So done with a quarter in the Pac-12 championship. Washington struck on its opening drive. Colorado responded. We're tied at 7.
I used to ask if you could hear me now, but I switched to Sprint. Their network reliability is now within 1% of Verizon. And get this, with Sprint's new unlimited plan, you have the freedom to do virtually whatever you want.
Is there no worrying about gigabytes, megabytes, overages, hillphobia?
That's the dream right there.
Well, then Mama is gonna text, ping, post, tweet, snap.
Can you hear that?
Don't let a 1% difference limit your freedom. Switch and get unlimited mobile optimized data talk and text, $20 per line for a family of 5. It's the best price for unlimited. Happy holidays from Sprint.
P is for permission to indulge. O is for out of this world. L is for loving the seasonal cuisine. A is for access to everything, including the aisle. R is for reclining in tailor-made bedding. And I must be dreaming. S, so long jet lag. Polaris from United.
Bro, your stuff is on fire.
Someone gotta call the fire department. Woo-hoo!
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Bro, your stuff is on fire.
Someone better call the fire department.
Yeah, you should call the fire department. This is your stuff.
More people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Mike, 57, down. Mike, 57, 390. Green, 90, hot, hot.
MLS Cup, next Saturday at 7:30 on Fox.
There's some kind of attack coming.
I have to try and stop him.
Why does it need to be you?
Because right now, I'm the only one I can trust.
24 Legacy, after the Super Bowl on Fox.
The Pac Pac-12 championship on Fox is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. We get ready to begin quarter number 2 in a 7-7 game.
Let's go back and take a look at that last play for Washington. You know, they know they're not going to be able to run the ball up the middle with Tupou and Carroll and all these guys inside, so they're going to bring their athletic offensive linemen for Washington, try to pull them around and get to the edge of the Colorado defense. I think that's where they've got the best chance for success up front. And only 2 guys are over 300 pounds for Washington's offensive line.
A few all-conference players up there. First time in a long time they've had that. Gaskin patiently waits for the hole to develop and surges for 6 into the arms of Olabode. It had been since 2001 since Washington had had a first-team all-conference O-lineman. Not just a first-teamer, any teamer. On the O-line, they have 3 of them this year. Adams at left tackle, Eldrin Camp at left guard, both first-teamers. Coleman Shelton, the center, the second-teamer.
And Coleman Shelton's really come in and done a nice job for Washington this year. The whole left side of that offensive line is where they like to try to run the football.
On 2nd and 4, it's Gaskin again. Pull off the left side, and he's got a first down. Keeps the legs churning right through Ryan Moeller to the 43 on a gain of a dozen.
Keep an eye on left guard Jake Eldrinkamp, second-team All Pac-12. Watch him as he pulls around and helps to set an edge for Myles Gaskin. We talked about the patience of Gaskin. You know, he hesitates a little bit to allow his offensive linemen to get set up to position themselves in the block, and then that's when he accelerates through the hole. That's where that patience comes into play.
How about 21 plays and 16 called runs? There's a sack in there. First and 10 from the Colorado 43. They keep it on the ground. Levon Coleman fighting his way across the 40 and a first down gain of 5.
Coleman's such a physical runner. And you look at him size-wise compared to Gaskin. Gaskin's under 200 pounds, shorter in stature. You look at Coleman, he's not quite 6 foot, almost there, but 230 pounds. I mean, he is a big physical running back. We talked about it. He's really come on the second half of this season, added a different element to the running game for Washington.
And a career year for the junior out of Lompoc, California. On 2nd and 5, he's got it again. Trying to get outside. This time he can't. Olabode's having a nice start to this game for Colorado. No gain, 3rd down.
Olabode runs so well, sideline to sideline. That's what they call those types of linebackers who have the athleticism of Olabode. You talked to us this week, said, yeah, I used to play quarterback back in the day. And talking about that experience actually helps him in diagnosing plays, whether the run or pass, those sorts of things. And it's had a big impact. You can see that in his play. He doesn't hesitate. Once he sees it, he fires his gun, and he usually makes the tackle.
Already 6 tackles. On 3rd down, Browning back to throw against a 5-man rush, retreating and heaving to the sideline and incomplete. Isaiah Oliver broken the ball. That was intended for Darrell Daniels. Jimmy Gilbert applying the pressure and making it 4th down.
Jake Browning's a bit frustrated. You're going to see on the right side of his offensive line, they don't really pick up anyone. Miscommunication. See the right tackle, Caleb McGarry, just allows Jimmy Gilbert to come free off the edge. Jake Browning couldn't do anything else. Now they're going for it here on 4th and 5.
They're 0 for 1 on 4th down today. This will be a punt. Instead, a timeout.
By the way, Jake Browning's so good at quick kicking. That's why Mike McIntyre wants to call a timeout so they can set up a return.
Yeah, not going to let him do it. Not without somebody back there to return it. And timeout taken. Colorado's first. So Colorado, after 5 straight last place finishes, trying to win a conference title against Washington, which has its sights set on the playoff.
I'm my team's #1 fan. Yay, sports. I've never been #1 at anything until I put these babies on. Now we're on a winning streak, and I am never taking them off. Do I know where I'm going? Absolutely. We're going to the playoffs.
Allstate guarantees your rates won't go up just because of an accident, starting the day you sign up.
So get accident forgiveness from Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
It's good to be in good hands.
There's free shipping on this XPS 13 and everything else at Dell.com. Remember when they used to say free shipping and handling? Whatever happened to the handling? Well, that's right. I do all the handling.
Can you handle this laptop before we ship it, Nick? Thanks.
Well, I'm happy to help. There's free shipping and handling on everything at Dell.com. Okay.
Wow, you're really festive? Well, this time of year, there's plenty to be festive about. Like what?
You smell like nutmeg.
Like the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event. It's your last chance of the year to save big on every new Hyundai.
Oh, I'm feeling more festive already.
Wait, did you say save big? Yep. Oh, I think I hear holiday music now. Oh, no, that's just my ringtone.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. This is the reason to buy now. Get up to $2,500 off the new Sonata during Hyundai holidays.
Gotta make more guac. What's the holdup?
Matt's making more guac.
Guacamole made with avocados from Mexico is always there because they're fresh all year round.
Avocados from Mexico.
Hey, Mickey, listen, I need you to watch the kids. We had to flee the country.
Officer, this woman is a danger to these children. The kids are fine.
Can I have some more ice cream?
The Mick, January 1st on Fox.
Back in the Bay Area, early on, second quarter in a 7-7 game. And they snapped the ball, but we weren't ready for them to. So the officials helped us out. Blew it dead. Thanks, guys. Len Clark. Chris Peterson wondering what's going on.
Please reset the clock to 12:24.
I think we're ready now. So Mike McIntyre ices Jake Browning, the punter, right out of the game after the timeout. Chris Peterson brings the actual punt team out there. Tristan Vizcaino with Isaiah Oliver waiting back. On a line drive. Well done by Vizcaino, bouncing down to the 6-yard line. That's where the Buffs will begin. We mentioned it going to break. 10 consecutive losing seasons for the Buffs, and so why not pick them to finish dead last in the conference? But they started 2-0. They went into Michigan and got beat, but got back on track with those back-to-back wins to begin conference play. Their lone Pac-12 loss came at the Coliseum to USC. Lufau hardly played in that game. They've won 6 in a row since then, the longest winning streak in 20 years. And it's only the third time in college football history, Brady, that a team has snapped a string of 10 consecutive losing seasons with a 10-win season.
Truly incredible the turnaround, and talked about it in some pregame shows. Jim Levitt, the defensive coordinator, the job he's done the last 2 seasons. Darren Shiverini matched with Brian Lindgren. Really, the entire coaching staff deserves credit.
And it is still Steven Montez in there, quarterback. Lufau out with a leg injury. Lindsey getting popped after a 2-yard gain by Ben Burr-Kirby. Colorado is unbeaten this season when it rushes for 100 yards. They are 0-2 when they fail to reach 100 yards. 10 carries for 34 yards so far tonight. Baker showing blitz. Montez IDs it. 6 blockers on 6 in the box. Lindsey goes outside, driven out of bounds by McIntosh. 3rd down.
Well, this is the critical situation where Steven Montez is going to have to elevate his play. They bring in another wide receiver. Typically, Colorado likes to utilize 4 wide receiver, 1 running back sets. Again, the guys they like to target are those inside wide receivers. Jay McIntyre had a huge game a couple weeks ago. 5 catches, all 4 conversions. He's the coach's son right there in the slot.
On 3rd and 6, Washington bringing heat. It's picked off. Baker stepped in front of it. And Baker's hurt.
Well, Devin Ross was the man in motion. He's the guy they like to target on third down. Buda Baker just identifies this right away as Ross runs that little stop route right around the sticks. Biggest concern for Washington right now is see if his foot was in or out.
It's out.
Looks out. Nonetheless, a tremendous play.
Interception is under further review.
And the reason why Baker was able to make a play on it, one, because he's good at diagnosing plays and seeing things on the field. He's got tremendous savvy, but the other element is the timing was off. Ross was out of his cut, the ball wasn't quite there yet, and that's sometimes what you fight when you put in a backup quarterback. They just don't quite have the same timing and some of those quick hitting routes and throws that you have with the starter because they've worked with those wide receivers all week on those plays.
Doesn't it somehow right now with Cephaleufa out of this game, even though it's tied at 7, feel like Washington has a sizable advantage? It doesn't feel like a tie game.
No, it doesn't, but I don't think that anyone on the Colorado sideline feels that way. I mean, they've battled through some injuries this year, and then they've come back, and we've seen Cephaleufa come back in games before. I don't know. I'm not betting against them that his night's done. And Steven Montez has played well in Cephaleufa's absence. He's very capable of running the system. You talk to the coaching staff of Colorado, talk to Darren Shiverini. He's not going to change a whole lot of what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do. He believes in the players on this team.
Jim Fogeltans, the replay official of this Pac-12 crew tonight. Expect that Buda Baker's interception will be overturned with that foot on the sideline. Colorado dodging a bit of a bullet, at least getting to send the punt team out. Baker part of that stud defense.
After reviews, the ruling is the defender came down out of bounds. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. Fourth down. Clock operator, please reset to 11:03. 11:03.
Baker's one of the 9 all-conference players on that defense. He's one of the 4 first-teamers. The 3rd time he's been an all-conference player. And clearly that right foot coming down out of bounds before the left foot hits inbounds.
Hey, can you get a better look? I mean,
that's great.
Sideline judge is right there. I think I trust his discernment on that one.
If there's one spot in this game where it looks like Washington on paper has a distinct advantage, it is in special teams in the return game. Alex Kinney. Pettis back to return it. And a fair catch at the 44. The Jake Browning in this Washington offense back to the field. Browning just 1 of 5 to begin, trying to get things clicking in the Pac-12 championship.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays.
'Cause no matter how far away you roam, for the holidays happy home sweet
Says it won't let up for a while.
The Cadillac XT5.
What should we do?
Tailored to you.
Wait it out.
Equipped with Apple CarPlay compatibility. Now during season's best, get this low mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $429 per month, or purchase with 0% APR financing.
Oh, that's lovely.
So graceful.
The corkscrew spin, flawless. His signature move, the Flying Dutchman. Poetry in motion.
And there it is, the baby bird.
Breathtaking.
A sumo wrestler figure skating? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Heather saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
The Pac-12 Championship presented by Dr. Pepper is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Might have heard the reaction from the crowd on that punt as Kinney was bumped, but Mike Pereira, our rules expert, letting us know during the break that the reason there was no call on Joyner is because he was blocked into the punt. So Washington back on offense at its own 44-yard line. One of the top offenses in the country with one of the top quarterbacks in the country. But Colorado's pass defense has shut him down so far. He's just 1 for 5.
Jake Browning last week in the Apple Cup completed 72% of his passes. Much different task here tonight.
Drive begins with a Gaskin counter. Miles Gaskin finishing forward for 7.
What sets up that play is really Gaskin in the backfield. Starts over to the right-hand side, allows his blocking to be set up, then comes back around on the counter. Having a lot of success with some of these misdirection plays. Talked about the Washington offensive line's a little bit smaller, only 2 guys over 300 pounds. They have to be smaller. They have to be more nimble, more athletic. When you watch these guys pull and get out of space, they have to be able to attack some of those better athletes in the secondary when blocking.
On 2nd and short. Browning fakes to Coleman. Lets it fly. John Ross in double coverage, and it's underthrown and incomplete. 3rd down and 3.
That's 2 times now Jake Browning has tried to take a shot to his leading wide receiver, John Ross. He's matched up one-on-one against Akello Witherspoon. Doesn't really have a step. Good coverage by Witherspoon, but the ball's just left inside and really underthrown. There's not much John Ross can do besides try to make a play on it. He was able to get a pass interference on the first one, but so far Jake Browning not having the performance that he needs to help his team get into a rhythm and have some production in the passing game.
Top 5 in the country in passing efficiency. A 1 of 6 start. Fakes to McClatcher. Gives to Coleman. 1st down, Washington. Levon Coleman to the 42. Addison Gillum the tackle.
It's misdirection. All the different things that the Washington offense does to really keep a defense on their heels. So many different things they throw at you for the first half of the game. Talked about scripting plays. Typically they script somewhere between 15, maybe 20 at most plays. And try to get through that just to see how the defense is going to play different personnel groupings and formations.
1st down run for Coleman. Again, that offensive line surging to get him 4-5. And then he gets himself another. So 28 plays now, 22 runs for Washington. Normally a pretty balanced offense.
I think coming into this game, when you look at the matchup, I don't know if there's too many weaknesses really on either of these 2 teams, but there hasn't been a lot of success for teams to throw the football versus Colorado. We saw it a week ago versus Utah. Troy Williams really struggled in that game to complete footballs.
2nd and 5. Gaskin makes a cut, gets chopped down. It'll be 3rd and short. So do you think we're seeing, as much as anything, them respecting Colorado's secondary that much, or do you think they see a weakness on the ground?
I think it's a bit of both. I think they definitely respect what Colorado has done so far this season and the athletes that they have in the secondary, but it's also they feel like they've got an advantage. They bring in their tight ends, Will Dissly, Drew Sample, those sorts of guys kind of come in and they help Gaskin and the rest of the running game get to the edge and get big gains.
3rd down and 3, not quite in field goal range. It's Gaskin. He's got a 1st down up to the 31 over the left side of the line with those all-conference players in Adams and Eldrenkamp.
And the key block was the tight end, Drew Sample. He came in motion. He actually inserted inside, in between the center and guard, and helped lead the way for Gaskin. Again, a different variation, a different look. Some of the different running plays that they like to do.
Lufau leaving the field, back to the locker room. Midway through this 2nd quarter. Went down on Colorado's opening drive, injuring that right leg. Same leg that he hurt, causing him to miss 3 games earlier this year. Again, 2 tight ends in the game for the Dogs. They use them to block for Coleman. Coleman running so hard. He's got a gain of 5. We talked about it a little bit, but this is a guy that, as a freshman, split carries with Dwayne Washington, who's now on the Detroit Lions, and ran for almost 600 yards. But last year, ran for only 176 with Myles Gaskin taking over. And they say that it's a different guy this year, a step quicker.
And they say he weighs the same as last year, but he's got a little bit of a step quicker, maybe turning a little bit of that fat into more muscle. And look at the guy, he's already rocked up.
2nd and 5. Out of the Wildcat. Gaskin fakes and runs. Huge hole. First down inside the 15. And the game plan crystal clear at this point for Washington, trying to pound away at Colorado's defense.
Watch number 22. It's called being unselfish, helping out his teammate Myles Gaskin. He doesn't just come in there to run the football as well. He comes in there to help out his teammates.
Could have been easy, like we talked about with what happened last year with Gaskin almost taking all of the carries for Coleman to throw in the towel, but they rave about the way that he's stuck with it. And again, a big part of this attack. Browning's back in there. First down and 10 to the Bucs 15. A rare pass. Darrell Daniels inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Washington touchdown.
But what happens when you run the football effectively? It helps open up the play action pass game, in particular to the tight ends.
Van Winkle's extra point makes it a 14-7 game. So only Browning's 2nd completion of the game, but it goes for a touchdown to the senior out of Pittsburgh, Georgia, Darrell Daniels, and UW back in front.
Home with Element TVs. Amazing technology, affordably priced. Element. Power on.
There are those who love sriracha and those who haven't tried it. And for a limited time, Wendy's Bacon Sriracha Fries are the perfect introduction. Sriracha infused aioli and applewood smoked bacon, all for $1.99. And at Wendy's, there's more sriracha to come.
What? Oh, hi. Hello.
Save 10 when you spend 50 on holiday decor and trees at Target.
It's the holidays at Verizon, and the best deals are on the best network. Yes! With no surprise overages, you can use your data worry-free and even carry over the data you don't use. And right now, get 4 lines and 20 gigs for only $40 per line. And just for the holidays, get the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge for only $15 per month. No trade-in required.
I love you in that. No, I love you in that. No, I love you in that.
Hurry, these offers end soon. Get the best deals and the best network only on Verizon.
You want a wig, a jersey, and overpriced nachos. Don't let sinus symptoms bring you down now. Get fast sinus relief with Vicks Sinex and get back in the game. Sinex, the congestion, pressure, pain to clear your head medicine.
We're never putting Chris in charge of the guac again. Chris isn't there with the guac, man.
Come on, he had one job!
Chris! Guacamole made with avocados from Mexico is always there because they're fresh all year, even when Chris drops the ball.
Avocados from Mexico.
It is the game of the year in this conference.
Big time play!
Oh my goodness!
Look at him go!
This is college football on Fox.
The Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway coming up at halftime. Stay tuned to see who gets $100,000 in tuition from Dr. Pepper as we go back to that touchdown throw from Jake Browning.
When you've already rushed for almost 150 yards tonight, this is what happens. The linebackers get sucked up on the run game and it allows voids in the zone coverage on the back end. Darrell Daniels was so wide open for the touchdown.
His third of the season. Washington back in front. And Colorado set to get it with 6:38 left in this first half. They begin at the 25-yard line against the 11-1 Huskies, who got off to the 4-0 start this year with the win against Stanford. 44-6 they rolled the Cardinal. They were 9-0 entering the game against USC. It was one of the top teams in the country, but of course the Trojans handed them their first loss, 26-12. Washington bouncing back with a convincing win in the Apple Cup, rolling Washington State. They went up 28-3 in the first quarter of that game. A game a lot of people thought was going to be really close. Chris Peterson, in his third season as the head coach, has them one win from a really good case to get into the college football playoff. They fake the toss, and Montez running the other way. Keyshawn Bierria tracks him down at 2nd and 7.
You know, Montez averages 4.5 yards a carry, so he can run this offense as well. As you look at that, 2 losses under 100 yards. You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. The problem is, so far tonight, only 41 yards rushing. Now, they're on pace to maybe get there at some point, but not quite as effective as Washington, with already 148 yards tonight, 174 total yards so far. It's not even halftime.
Now, Montez not a bad runner himself. He ran for 135 yards in his debut start against Oregon. They empty it out on 2nd down. He runs again. He got popped at the end of the play by Rapp. It'll be 3rd and short.
And you can't make any sort of wholesale adjustment. You have a quarterback who gets injured, of course, during the course of the game. You've got to basically go with what you got. Now, there might be a small section of plays where Steven Montez feels more comfortable with what's in the game plan, in particular on 3rd down, 3rd and short situations. But aside from that, they're going to roll with what they came into the game with.
Couple of tight ends in there on 3rd down and 1. Here comes Fields in motion. They fake it to him. Montez straight ahead, finishing forward for a Colorado first down. Steven Montez, who they say was prepared to take over the starting role when Lufau went down because of Lufau's injury last year that caused him to miss spring ball. But Lufau had that Liz Frank surgery. So Montez was the guy during the spring. It didn't look anything like a freshman when he took over midway through this season because of Lufau's injury. A first down pass play. Showing off the arm. Shea Fields incomplete. Tight coverage, Sidney Jones, and it's 2nd and 10.
That's really where Washington excels in the secondary. Their cornerbacks do a good job of widening opposing wide receivers. Look how Sidney Jones uses the sideline to his advantage. He continues to keep kind of tapping and pushing Shea Fields towards the sidelines. It makes it incredibly hard to complete that football, though never in the history of football has a ball been completed that was thrown out of bounds.
Jones, one of the top NFL prospects on this roster. Dog showed blitz and then backed off, still getting pressure on Montez, who keeps it alive and now throws it away. Able to get home with only 4.
This is the same exact blitz, actually, that Sefo Lufau got hurt on. Watch as they bring Keyshawn Bierria first, and then Sam Wuching wraps back around. The Colorado offensive line is having a hard time identifying and passing off to pick up Wuching as he passes on around, is able to get to the Colorado quarterback.
And the officials coming together right now to confirm that that ball reached the line of scrimmage, or else it will be an intentional grounding.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The ball would have gone beyond the line of scrimmage. However, it touched the player out of bounds. Third down.
All right, so 3rd and 10.
I think Montez put just enough on that football as he was escaping to maybe have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage. It's nothing downfield, and I think would have gotten there.
Yeah,
maybe close.
Washington trying to get it back before the end of this first half. Huskies bringing 4. Blitz is picked up, giving Montez time to find Jay McIntyre. First down Buffs into Washington territory on a gain of 13.
And what about the guts of Steven Montez? Hanging in there, pressure right into his face. But he stands tall, he stands strong, keeps his eyes downfield, which is the key, and finds Jay McIntyre for the big-time conversion.
Boy, Ben Burkervin was shot out of a cannon on that blitz.
Almost a third of McIntyre's receptions this year have been for third down conversions.
Had a huge game against Washington State a couple of weeks ago. Said that he knew that it was his dad's biggest game and wanted to play big for him. Into the short side, Bryce Bobo can't hang on. Bobo missed last week with an ankle injury. They thought that he was about 85% today. Darren Chiaverini told us down on the field before the game.
And he's about 80% or so. But the guy who's come in has done a pretty good job, in particular the past 2 weeks, is Kavion Ento. You'll see him mix in throughout the course of the game, but he's got half his catches on the season coming the last 2 weeks.
Second and 10. Lindsey makes the first man miss. No chance to get away from Burkervin. A loss of 5, and it's 3rd and long.
Well, this is really where Washington excels. It's their guys up front getting negative plays. They get upfield, they get penetration, and then their linebackers, whether it's Sam Wuching or Ben Burkervin, Keyshawn Bierre, they tee off. That's what makes this Washington Huskies defense so tough. Their defensive front gets a lot of push and a lot of penetration, allows their linebackers to roam free. And the other aspect of it is it puts pressure on quarterbacks in 3rd and long situations.
Which this is, 3rd and 14. 4-man rush. They bubble it to McIntyre, who is a high school quarterback. He looks to throw. Now pumps and runs and crosses midfield, losing the football, but it goes out of bounds. So he gets 7, and it'll be 4th down and 7 from the 45.
Jay McIntyre was looking for Shea Fields downfield, but there was nothing there. I mean, the Washington secondary was not fooled. They're playing cover 4, really deep. 4 guys back for the deep quarters of the field. Jay McIntyre did exactly what you thought he'd do. He made the smart play.
Yeah.
Decided to keep it and get upfield and get what he could.
How many times do you see on a double pass like that a guy pump fake? You can tell he's got a little former quarterback in him. Punt team's out there. Colorado, the worst punt coverage team in the Pac-12. Pettis, a fair catch. And Washington will have it at the 16-yard line with 2:50 and all 3 timeouts, up 14-7.
Alexa, ask Tracker to find my phone. Okay. Oh no.
Alexa, what do I have on my calendar this afternoon?
You have a dentist appointment at 2 o'clock.
Alexa, how many calories in a chicken wing?
Chicken wing contains 312 calories.
Anybody know where the potato salad is?
Coach Steve.
Larry, come on, we got a lot of football to watch.
He's in there. Yes, down.
Behold! Dang it! Maybe next Saturday we'll do this again, I think.
Yeah, I'll bring the ice. Let's go, Dr. Pepper, here. Let's go.
See a black screen.
What are you looking at?
Crazy stuff, man. You gotta see this.
Hey, what is it? It's like some 3D virtual world. Can I see?
Oh, yeah. Look at him.
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime, we'll be joined by Arizona head coach Rich Rodriguez live from Levi Stadium. Plus, undefeated Western Michigan hopes to secure a New Year's Six bowl bid. All that and more at the half. But right now, back to you, Joe and Brady.
All right, Mike, is this first half lines down? Joe Davis, Brady Quinn. You looking at me with this?
A little chilly here, huh? Where are you from? Are you from Michigan?
Yeah, from the Midwest. This is a little excessive, isn't it?
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe I have to pull your man card.
If you had brought a jacket, you probably would have thrown it on by now, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly.
You're softened by South Florida, though. I have no excuse. 2:50 left in this opening half. Jake Browning in the offense, trying to get things going. Levon Coleman's in there, running back. Get it outside to John Ross, and then one-on-one. Awuzie can't get him. Moeller can. But you hold your breath when John Ross catches it in open space.
Yeah, but Chidobe Awuzie hasn't allowed a touchdown on him all season. And that's the matchup that we're going to watch throughout the course of the night. So far, Awuzie really getting the better of the two, although there really hasn't been much of a chance because of the way Browning's throwing the football. But you go back to 2 weeks ago versus Arizona State, he started to pick things up in a 2-minute drive before half. That's what he needs to do here now. Get back into a rhythm. Try to get some positive gains, some positive things going throwing the football.
On 2nd and 7. Colorado rushes only 4. So Browning has time. Incomplete through Ross's hands. He was chased by Rick Gamboa. Washington take that matchup any day of the week. Browning couldn't hit him, and it's 3rd down.
This is really where Washington's found themselves in many of their unsuccessful drives. In 3rd and 6+ throughout the course of the night. And typically, Jake Browning's one of the better quarterbacks, not only against pressure, which usually comes on 3rd down, but overall 3rd down conversion.
3rd and 7. Browning looking short side. It's tipped and incomplete. Oliver covering John Ross. And a 3-and-out forced by this Buffs defense.
Well, when you're in a bust passing situation, the quarterbacks can do a better job of sitting around the sticks because they know they don't have any sort of run responsibility. And one of the blueprints of this Washington offense in the passing game is they like to run these stick routes. So the defensive backs for Colorado know that they're usually going to squat and settle around those sticks. That's when they can make a play on the football.
And Oliver did. He's now back to return this punt. There is a flag down. And it's down at the 41. The flag down.
The official threw that flag from about 30 yards away.
Pretty good distance.
That might have been the longest throw I've seen in quite some time. The official there running in right now.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 8, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
The Pac-12 Championship presented by Dr. Pepper is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call, drink responsibly. And by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet. Final minutes of this 2nd quarter. The top 10 showdown in the Pac-12 championship game. Washington trying to head to the playoff. Colorado hoping for a bit of chaos this weekend and see if they can crash the party.
It's still plenty of time. Less than 2 minutes. You got 2 timeouts. Clock stops after a 1st down.
Steven Montez in the game with Lufau leaving the game with an injury on Colorado's first possession. Lindsey off of the bubble. Fighting off of the block is JoJo McIntosh in a short game. 2nd down.
Jay McIntyre was matched up across from JoJo McIntosh, trying to block for Philip Lindsay on the the running back bubble. McIntosh has a bit of a size advantage there.
Yeah. 2nd and 9 with a minute and a half. Montez well protected. Scan of the field, extending the play, and throwing it into traffic, incomplete. Ill-advised heave from Montez. It's 3rd and 9 coming up on the State Farm halftime show with Mike Hill, Dave Wonstadt, Robert Smith in LA, and then the guys here in Santa Clara. Rich Rod's down on our set. And Western Michigan trying to finish off the perfect run into what they hope is a New Year's Six Bowl. Montez 5 of 11 in relief of CFB Lufau. 3rd down and 9. Washington brings 4. It's incomplete. McIntyre running to the sideline. Went right through his hands, and Kevin King had a chance at it, but instead 4th down.
There's a big hole there on the back end. You're going to see Jay McIntyre run a deep 7 route. Look at all that room, all that space. Kevin King tried to kind of turn around, make a play on the football at the end, but a well-designed play, poor execution.
So again, Pettis back to return. A lot of the issues covering punts for Colorado have come off of line drives from Kenny. Pretty good hang time on this one, though Pettis will take it and break a tackle. Dante Pettis steps out of an ankle tackle, gets around Olabode, returning to the 41. An 18-yard return for one of the best in the country at doing that. The Big Ten Championship on Fox tomorrow. 6th-ranked Wisconsin, number 7 Penn State. Coverage starting at 7 Eastern on Fox. You can also watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Both teams entered the year unranked. And both fighting for what they hope is a spot in the playoff. And with 1 minute and all 3 timeouts, Washington has it at its own 42.
One guy they need to start trying to target is Dante Pettis. He hasn't gotten enough looks so far in this game.
Lined up to the top, Browning looking his way, and on the speed out, there he is.
Look, he's got good hands. He runs good routes. He's as smooth as it gets. And when everyone devotes attention to John Ross, it's Dante Pettis time. That's why he's got 14 touchdowns. That's why this offense has been incredibly dynamic throughout the course of the year. It's hard to stop one guy. Then you throw Chico McClatchy in that mix. You got 3 guys you're really concerned about.
2nd and 1. Coleman swings out, opening a window for Ross, who can't hang on. And 3rd down. Pac-12 Championship on Fox, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. 53 seconds left in this first half.
When you get in 2-minute situations, a lot of times the cornerbacks, they'll not travel back and forth with one wide receiver there on the course of the field. They'll just stay on that side. That time, Washington changed Dante Pettis and John Ross to try to get a more favorable matchup that they wanted.
Coleman hit at the line of scrimmage and lost a yard. Jordan Carroll in there with Kafavalu, and it's 4th down with 42 seconds and counting.
The big run stoppers up front, getting penetration and doing a good job of 2-gapping. Look at Josh Tupou. He creates basically a big hole for Kenneth Olabode to run through and make the tackle. Jim Levitt said Tupou's playing well up front. Kenneth Olabode's going to have a lot of tackles.
6-second differential between the game and play clock. And so Washington will have to snap it one more time.
Keep in mind, Colorado will get the football coming out of half, as they won the toss but deferred, as they've won, what, 12 now?
12 of the 13. And I guess the question becomes in the second half, can CFB Lufau find a way to come back into the game? Jenny told us during commercial that he had headed back into the locker room just to stay warm at this point, to give himself a chance in the second half to return from that lower leg injury.
Well, I wouldn't put anything past CFB Lufau trying to make a return to the game. He's the ultimate competitor, the ultimate warrior, but the other element is, you know, he's talked about before, he wants to do what's best for the team. And if you want to get into the story of, you even talk about when Davis Webb almost transferred to Colorado. He said to Mike McIntyre, he said, "Coach, we're going to have a great team." He said, "If you think that's what's best for the team, go get him. But I'll tell you this much. If I can recover from this Liz Frank, it doesn't matter who you bring in, because I'm going to beat him out."
Now, Webb, of course, wound up at Cal. Both guys having good years. But they do punt it. And barring a penalty, that will end this first half. So Washington with a 14-7 lead, looking for its first conference title since 2000. Colorado trying to win its first conference title since 2001 when it was in the Big 12. And both teams thinking of the college football playoff. Washington, more or less, you would assume, in with the win. Let's go down to Jenny Taft.
Joe, thanks. Well, Coach, you knew tonight was going to be a defensive battle. You held them to just one score. Are you happy with what you saw in the first?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a hard-fought game, back and forth, two good defenses, and we just got to capitalize and get down there.
Offensively, almost 150 yards rushing, but will you look to see more balance in the second?
Like to. We always like to stay balanced. We like to throw a little bit more, but we're having some success running it. If we can be more balanced, I think that helps us.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Joe.
Thanks, Coach Pete. Thank you, Jenny. Halftime here at the Pac-12 Championship. Right now, we send you to Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
Yeah, can they throw it against that Colorado secondary? Welcome to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show. Mike Hill joined by Robert Smith and the Coach Dave Wannstedt. Coming up, undefeated Western Michigan hopes to secure a New Year's Six bowl bid. It came right down to the wire. And we'll go back out to the stadium for some analysis from Arizona head coach Rich Rodriguez. 7-point game at the Pac-12 Championship. Stick around, everybody. Halftime report coming up next.
How do you change the world? It starts with a single step. You don't have to know what the destination looks like. You just have to have the courage to take the first step. Be boundless for Washington, for the world.
Next Saturday at 7:30 on Fox.
Welcome back to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show.
MAC Championship, Western Michigan trying to stay undefeated in the running for New Year's Six bowl game, taking on Ohio. And Zach Terrell finds Corey Davis.
Well, Corey Davis, huh, Robert? I mean, he's a guy that's going to be, his eligibility's up. He will be playing on Sunday. He's got 83 catches on the year, 17 touchdowns. You don't need to row speedboats, Coach.
Yeah, 9 catches, 155 in that game for 1 touchdown. But fourth quarter, it's a 6-point game. Greg Windham, though, picked off by Robert Spillane, and that is it.
Rowing the boat.
Boys, MAC championship 29-23. See what Navy does. See if they can get into a New Year's Six game. Hey, don't forget tomorrow on Fox, 6th-ranked Wisconsin battles number 7 Penn State for the Big Ten championship. Could the winner be headed to the playoff? That's certainly debatable. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern right here on Fox. Boy, have we been debating it all season long.
We should go to that game, Coach.
Yes, we should. Philip Lindsay hitting into the end zone for Colorado. The only touchdown for the Buffaloes on the night as they trail Washington in the Pac-12 championship game 14-7. Welcome to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show. Mike Hill hanging out with the coach, Dave Wannstedt, and Robert Smith. And maybe they'll need more of that from Lindsay in the second half because their quarterback, Lufo, has gone down with an injury. Stephen Montez has come in, and they're going to need a lot of him as we look at the State Farm right combination highlight.
Yeah, you know, Stephen Montez, even though he's a redshirt freshman, you know, he has started 3 games. He's 2-1, and he's got the ability. He understands the offense. That's the first thing that jumps at you. He doesn't have the arm strength and maybe not the outright running ability, but as far as executing the offense, Stephen Montez, he can do that. You know, now obviously they got to really make sure that they keep it balanced, but to score enough points, they're going to have to throw the ball. And I wouldn't do anything offensively if I'm the head coach. I would go into and grab Jim Leavitt, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, and I would tell him, hey, listen, we got to be a little bit more aggressive. And I would say, you know, somehow we've got to try to change the field position. From a defensive standpoint, we've got to come up with a turnover from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, just let it be as it is. Yeah, and I think when you're talking about them being aggressive defensively, maybe that's mixing in a little bit of run blitz because this Washington run attack has really been solid tonight. You know, and there are different types of workhorses. There's the little Shetland pony workhorse of Myles Gaskin, and there you can see LaVon Coleman, the big Clydesdale. They've done a nice job, really, of mixing up this attack. They've used Gaskin more on the edges of that defense, and they've used Coleman, as you can see right here, busting right up the middle. You get him onto the second level. He's so dangerous once he gets ahead of steam. And you could see, because Jake Brown was really struggling in the first half, they ran the ball extremely well, got the linebackers out of position on play action, and then Jake Browning was able to make some short completions.
You heard Coach Chris Peterson talking about being more balanced in the second half. 27 rushes, only 12 passing. Browning 4 of 12 in the first half. Remember, he's one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the nation. Meanwhile, get you out for more halftime coverage. The coach, Rich Rod, and Rob Stone coming up.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price. Not here! Not ever!
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price. Not here, not ever.
Well, did you get it?
More people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right. State Farm.
This year at T-Mobile, the holidays are on us. Switch your family of 4 to T-Mobile, get unlimited everything, and we'll give you $800. That's right, $800 to spend anywhere you want. Plus, all season long, get awesome deals on smartphones, tablets, and accessories. Hurry to T-Mobile and get your holidays on us.
The Rams battle the Patriots. And in America's Game of the Week, the Giants clash with the Steelers. It all begins at 11 Eastern. And don't miss a huge doubleheader on Fox.
There's some kind of attack coming.
I have to try and stop him.
Why does it need to be you?
Because right now, I'm the only one I can trust.
24 Legacy after the Super Bowl on Fox.
watch the kids. We had to flee the country.
Hey, Ben, I dare you to look the girl.
What?
Well, I hope you're very proud
proud of yourself. Your brother's burned off all of his taste buds.
What's up, Chippy?
Next time he gives you crap, yank his pants down and point at his tiny... What happened to you?
It was humongous. A monkey hit and beat me with it.
Well, clearly you didn't do it right.
The Mick, special premiere, January 1st on Fox.
I'm an engineer. I am a billionaire. I will upgrade police with the best technology money can buy. Long story short, we're gonna change the world. I have a proposal. Give me the 13th district.
Technology doesn't solve cases. Cops do.
You haven't met my technology. What the hell is that?
This is the good part.
APB this February after 24 Legacy on Fox.
We welcome you back to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show, 14-7 at the break. Rob Stone, Rich Rodriguez back here with you on the field. The key first half story, Lufau out injured still with that ankle. Montez comes on. What do they lose, Colorado and Lufau?
Well, certainly use their experience. There's a lot of experience with Cepho, but Montez has quality game experience. The thing you have to do is, even though Colorado runs a lot of offense, and they probably still can with Montez, you're going to shorten it a little bit just so you can execute. The biggest key now, the corner play, secondary play has been outstanding for both units. Colorado has to be able to run the football a little bit and take some pressure off of Montez.
There are a lot of folks in El Paso, Texas on that Twitter machine tonight, fired up that Montez is on the field. He's led them to wins already over Oregon and Oregon State this year. You've dealt all season long with quarterbacks being injured and having to deal with guys in the halftime locker room. What do you tell Montez?
Well, the good thing is Montez has played in quality games, and he's played well, and he's a good football player. The thing you get nervous about as a coach is what happens to him. You play all these scenarios in your mind, but they have to be able to get something going in the run game and on defense. A turnover, something on special teams to help him change the momentum right now.
Montez actually a local kid born up the road in Oakland. His dad played 1 year for the Oakland Raiders. 14-7 at the break. Plenty more halftime when we return here to Santa Clara, and it is Colorado down 7-14. They gave up this touchdown on the opening drive of the game.
People who don't know me soon come to realize that I do not have any sense. And I don't keep anybody around me that doesn't deserve what they get.
Demetrius Johnson puts his belt on the line against Ultimate Fighter winner Tim Elliott. The Ultimate Fighter finale, Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
this conference. This could not have been scripted any better. Oh my goodness! It's about to go down. Unbelievable! This is college football on Fox.
At the University of Colorado, we award more than 15,000 degrees each year. We've developed nearly 2,000 bioscience innovations. Our community programs serve more than 1 million people in Colorado. Our research has created over 150 companies, and we've partnered on more than 75 space missions. We are 4 campuses, united in making a difference.
It's time for the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway, where Dr. Pepper awards tuition to deserving students. Let's go down to the field where Jenny Taft will kick it off.
Well, to open today's halftime festivities, Dr. Pepper and the Pac-12 are proud to present the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. In just a few moments, our 2 contestants, Victor Schau and Kyle Degman, will attempt to throw as many footballs as they can into the giant Dr. Pepper cans behind me. And guess what? The winner will walk away with $100,000 tuition. Now, I know this is really important to both of you guys, and Victor, I know you're studying at USC Medical School, so this money would go a long way. And Kyle, one day, he's hoping to follow his dream of becoming an optometrist. Guys, you know how this works. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Take your positions. We will begin on the referee's whistle. I want to keep you guys posted that the runner-up will leave with $20,000. So no one is leaving empty-handed, and we will begin on the whistle.
Ready? Ready?
Kyle is off to a big start. 5-1. Victor with just 1 at this point. Kyle with 11. Kyle Degman is our winner. Congratulations with 14. Kyle, come on over here. Congratulations, that was impressive. Well, here to present the Dr. Pepper tuition check is Derek Dabrowski, the Vice President of Marketing from Dr. Pepper.
Kyle, well done. On behalf of everyone at Dr. Pepper, I'm happy to present to you this check for $100,000 in tuition. Congrats.
Congratulations, that was very impressive what we saw. How will this tuition money change your life?
Well, I just like to use this to pay for school and eventually to help everybody in the inner city and in Africa. And I'm just so blessed by this opportunity, and God has just provided me with everything I have. And I'm just so thankful for Dr. Pepper. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Well, we wish you all the best. Congratulations again, and thank you to Dr. Pepper. Now, Dr. Pepper has been giving away tuition money for a while now, almost $8 million. They've been doing that since 2008. Here's your chance. You can score $1,000 in tuition now by tweeting your one-of-a-kind goal with the hashtag Dr. Pepper giveaway.
Second half of this Pac-12 championship coming up on the other side of this break.
Who's ready to tailgate? Yeah!
You know, they say the pregame is almost as important as the game. I gotta agree. You guys have your football practice. That's for you. But this is how we get ready.
Tailgating! Tailgating! Woo!
Do you have a pregame ritual? Like something wacky you do? Like
you should just scream in the mirror. I'm hungry.
I'm on it.
Larry Culpepper, this is for you. Oh. In your face!
I go down to Pepper here.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow, you're really
Festive?
Well, this time of year, there's plenty to be festive about. Like what?
You smell like nutmeg.
Like the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event. It's your last chance of the year to save big on every new Hyundai.
Oh, I'm feeling more festive already.
Wait, did you say save big?
Yep. Oh, I think I hear holiday music now. Oh, no, that's just my ringtone.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. This is the reason to buy now. Get up to $2,500 off the new Sonata during Hyundai holidays.
Oh, why the Phelps face? Old computer slowing you down? Is it a real drag? You know.
I know. New computers are super fast.
And yet here you are with a new world record for the slowest computer.
You know about it. Now do something about it. Upgrade to a new PC powered by Intel.
What is he doing?
I have no clue.
The sharpshooters, the shot blockers, the jammers, all chasing a conference crown. The final showdown in Las Vegas. 4 days in the electrifying T-Mobile Arena. 360 degrees of excellence takes over the Strip. The Pac-12 Men's Basketball Tournament. March 8th through the 11th. Go to pac-12.com/tickets.
Show up and turn up. We show up and turn up. We show up and turn up. We turn it up all the way. You can say we do this every day. 'Cause we the life of the party.
Couple of Pac-12 championship game first-timers, Colorado and Washington. The fourth-ring Huskies with a 14-7 lead as we get ready to start half number 2. Joe Davis and Brady Quinn. Jenny Taft with us again in a moment. And like we thought, with the top 2 defenses in the conference, kind of a defensive battle through 30.
Yeah, defensive battle, especially early on. And for Washington, had a couple 3-and-outs. Then they really settled in running the football, and it was to the left side of their offensive line. 3 all-conference players. Levon Coleman got it jump-started with a big run. Then they mix in some Wildcat. Miles Gaskin gets going, and what happens when you start to run the football effectively? It opens up the play-action pass game. Darrell Daniels with the touchdown, the leading wide receiver for the Huskies right now. I don't know if anyone thought that coming into this game, but very much a defensive battle. Washington really controlling the first half, running the football, 148 yards. I'd be surprised if they don't start kind of going back now off of some of those play-action pass games. I'm sure Colorado is trying to figure out how to stop the run. Now, look at the Washington offense. They're going to try to building off of some of those big runs with some play-action pass again.
Those first half stats brought to you by Verizon. Colorado will have it to begin the second half. Will it be Lufau? Will it be Montez? Lufau went back into the locker room for the final 8 minutes of that first half just to stay warm, make sure that lower leg didn't lock up anymore. Joel Meese, a true freshman. He's got good speed from the goal line. And Colorado to begin at the 19-yard line. We go down to Jenny Taft.
And the words from Coach McIntyre, we need to get Sefo Lufau back in this game for us. I did have a chance to get an update from the team doctor. They told me a sprained ankle for Lufau, so not as concerned about the knee. It's all about how he feels. This is going to be up to Lufau. The game plan will not change with Montez in, so now we're seeing that Sefo Lufau back in the game. He said he's going to just see how he's feeling with that. Defensively, pleased with how they're handling Browning right now, guys.
All right, so Lufau is in there to begin the second half for Colorado. We'll start with play action. He's got McIntyre off his hands and picked off. Taylor Rapp taking it back for a Washington touchdown. How about that to begin the second half for UW?
The true freshman out of Bellingham, Washington. Tips and overthrows. They talk about it all the time in the defensive room. They lead to interceptions. Taylor Rapp has had one heck of a year for Washington. Stepped in throughout the course of injuries on their nickel package. He's been roaming around the back end. This kid really has a bright future.
The Pac-12 Defensive Freshman of the Year with a pick 6 from 35 yards. And Washington greeting Lufau back into the game rudely, up by 2 scores here in the Pac-12 championship.
Look, anyone who thinks you got to make a truck heavier to make it stronger has been working too long without a hard hat. Meet the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. They cut weight with a high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and reinvested a big chunk of it to beef up the high-strength steel frame, forging the most capable heavy-duty pickup in America. Time to punch work in the face. This is the next level. This is the all-new Ford Super Duty.
For me?
Oh my.
What is it?
It's Samsung Gear VR.
You put it in there?
Push the play button. Oh.
This is crazy.
Oh my God!
Oh. You gotta try this.
I really did save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
I should take a closer look at Geico.
Geico has a long history of great savings and great service. Over 75 years.
Wait, 75 years? That is great.
Speaking of great, check out these hot riffs. You like Smash Mouth?
Yeah, I have an early day tomorrow, so.
Wait, almost there.
Good night, Bruce.
I gotta tune the A. Me.
Take a closer look at Geico. Great savings and a whole lot more.
There are those who love sriracha and those who haven't tried it. And for a limited time, Wendy's Bacon Sriracha Fries are the perfect introduction. Sriracha-infused aioli and applewood smoked bacon, all for $1.99. And at Wendy's, there's more sriracha to come.
What? Oh, hi.
Hello.
Save 10 when you spend 50 on holiday decor and trees at Target.
The Pac-12 championship presented by Dr. Pepper is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call and drink responsibly. By the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. And by Wendy's Sriracha Bacon Fries for a limited time only. So they get Lufau back in the game to begin this second half, but Taylor Rapp picks him off on his first play.
Chris Peterson talked about him when he first got there, spring practice, broke his hand. He's like, oh no, this guy's gonna miss some time. Came right back the next day with his hand all taped up, went right back to work.
The Bellingham, Washington say he has the it factor. And he's shown it off, moving into a more significant role as the year went on. So Lufau back out there. How does he respond now after getting picked off on his first throw since coming back from injury?
Well, he had Jay McIntyre too. He was open. He has to put that football on a little bit more of a trajectory. You can't overthrow across the middle. I'd have had Devin Ross too running down the field, but that wasn't the guy he was looking to. And you got to wonder sometimes when you've got some sort of leg injury, if it affects your motion and how you plant and how you transfer your weight. And maybe that was a cause for the overthrow.
Colorado just 118 total yards of offense. On the 25-yard line, Lufau seeing blitz, changing the play. Only 3 to snap it. They get it off, a flag down. And Lindsey has a nice run, but there is a flag down pre-snap.
Lufau hands off to Lindsey, but there's a flag on the play.
Offside. Defense number 8. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a first down.
So the play stands in Lindsey's longest run of the game.
It was only Lufau's 4th interception this season. He went with 150-some pass attempts without throwing one. He's gone a few times in his career, about 100 and some attempts without throwing an interception. So very uncharacteristic.
First down at 10. It's Lindsey again. Followed up this time. Psalm Wuching the tackle on a short gain. Second down. Lindsey, prior to that 10-yard run to begin the second half, 10 carries for 13 yards. More than 1,100 yards on this season. Didn't use him a ton last week because of the way Utah was playing. He tries to get outside here. Sticks the nose down. Greg Gaines has it. No gain, third down.
What about that? Greg Gaines is 320 pounds. And he was just chasing Philip Lindsay down the line of scrimmage to help make the play. Can't say enough about these big guys up front. They never get enough love. But they're the guys who do a really good job of two-gapping, trying to eat up those offensive linemen to allow Beavers and Vieira to roam free.
McQualls, Gaines, and Vea across the board, all at least 315. Lufau lets it go, and he's picked again by Taylor Rapp. Second interception on as many drives to open the second half.
I mean, this is almost an identical route to what we just saw in the previous interception. You're going to see Jay McIntyre come across the field, and Taylor Rapp just undercuts the route. He's seen it once. He capitalized off on an overthrow. This time he comes underneath. And that's tough as a quarterback. You're always taught as a wide receiver, you got to come flatter than the defender. Clearly, Sefo Lufau was frustrated. Things just have not gone the way he had hoped tonight.
Only 3 interceptions total, and he's been picked off twice in the second half already. Myles Gaskin touches it first on this drive, lowers his shoulder, and runs for 8 yards on first down. The Washington sitting pretty right now with a chance to break this thing open early on in the second half.
Well, I don't know if it was this coincidence or not, but it seemed like Washington started to smell blood when Sefo Lufau got hurt. They started the game with 2 3-and-outs. Lufau gets hurt, and all of a sudden, they start to find more production in the run game and on offense. These 2 interceptions now, obviously the return, but again here in the red zone.
Gaskin again. Addison Gillum can't get him. First down. Up to the 10. And Gaskin nearing 100 yards on the evening here in the Pac-12 championship.
And it's starting to feel like death by 1,000 paper cuts. This Washington offensive line continues to win the battle up front. You wonder when they're going to involve John Rossmore or Dante Pettis, because they're in one-on-one coverage on the outside. But when you're able to run the ball as effectively as Washington's doing, why would you change anything?
Out of the Wildcat. I beg your pardon. Browning's back there. Giving it to Gaskin. Slicing his way inside the 5. Still going. Down to the 2. His helmet came off, and it wasn't the result of a penalty, so Gaskin will have to come out of the game for 1 play. Second and goal.
Is there any better example of getting pushed up front than this last play? I mean, look at the offensive line for Washington change the line of scrimmage. They just continue to keep pushing guys off the ball. And then you see the tight ends get involved. Drew Sample, Will Dissly. They're just the more physical team. And they better be able to play physical, because if they win this game, they're going to be matched up versus Alabama in the college football playoff.
Coleman's back in there on second down. He's got it. Penetration shuts it down. Tries to get out of there, but can't. Afalabi Laguda finishes him off. Third and goal.
Well, this is where now your playmakers start to come into play. John Ross, Dante Pettis. You see Aaron Fuller coming as well. Here's the thing. Never put anything past Chris Peterson and Jonathan Smith. Always got some different wrinkles in.
They're down and goal. That's John Ross motioning to the near side. Colorado bringing pressure. Browning, end zone, incomplete through Ross's hands. And fourth down.
They call this the Colorado route. How fitting. Washington working against Colorado. And you're going to see John Ross try to sell the slant. And he's just going to lose Ahkello Witherspoon. And that ball seems somewhat catchable, but Jake Browning typically puts that right on the number 1.
But you expect Ross to catch that, a guy that has 73 receptions on the season. 24-yarder for Cameron Van Winkle, who's hit 11 of his last 12 after a rough game against Arizona earlier. And he slices it through there. Back-to-back Taylor Rapp interceptions to open this second half. And the freshman out of Bellingham, Washington, helping the Dogs go up 24-7.
If you have a typical airline credit card, you only earn double miles when you buy stuff from that airline. Wait, is this where you typically shop? You should be getting double miles on every purchase. Switch to the Capital One Venture card. With Venture, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase, everywhere, every day. Not just airline purchases. Seriously, double miles. Everywhere. What's in your wallet?
This is a man's world. This is a man's world, nah. But it won't be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
Coco Mademoiselle. Chanel.
At Macy's.
Okay, anyone like coming in first place in everything that matters? Introducing the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty, the only high-strength, military-grade, aluminum alloy body, heavy-duty pickup. It takes first place in every measure of tough. Best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, best-in-class horsepower, and best-in-class torque. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is the next level. This is the all-new Ford Super Duty.
Cup next Saturday on Fox.
The Pac-12 Championship on Fox is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Largest lead of the game for Washington at 24-7. Taking advantage of Taylor Rapp's 2 interceptions early on in the second half. First one teeing up a touchdown. The second one a Van Winkle field goal. Rapp the first guy to have 2 interceptions in a Pac-12 championship game. Line drive kick. Jolnes takes on the move at the 5. And crunched at the 20 by Brandon Wellington. Tomorrow, live in the Octagon, it's the Ultimate Fighter, a Tournament of Champions finale. The UFC's #1 pound-for-pound fighter, Demetrius Johnson, will put his belt on the line against the winner of the Ultimate Fighter, Tim Elliott. The Ultimate Fighter finale tomorrow at 7 Eastern on FS1. Anytime you talk to teams about defending Colorado, the biggest concern is Lufau's ability to run it. He might be in the game right now. He's nowhere close to effective as a runner with that hobbled leg. And so it's been just straight gives. And this one breaks for Phillip Lindsay. A gain of 22 to the 45.
Yeah, these have been direct runs. I mean, they may appear to be zone reads, but I don't believe Sefo Lufau's reading anyone. He's just handing the football off.
And does again. Lindsay met in the hole this time by Bieria.
Yeah, they came back with the exact same play. This Washington defense it's tough. It's tough to beat them. You run the exact same play 2 times in a row. They're going to make their adjustments and change. Got some veteran guys who've played a lot of football. Keyshawn Bieria being one of them.
Lufau looks left, feels the pressure, steps away, throws it out of bounds. 3rd down.
This has been the situation that Colorado quarterbacks have been in all night. It's been when Washington decides to bring pressure. Watch as Phillip Lindsay tries to come up and get a piece. You got to get all of that guy. You got to get up into his ribcage, engage, and lock on and give your quarterback a chance. The problem is Sam Wuching was wrapping back around, and they still have yet to pick that up tonight.
Lindsay normally really good at protecting Lufau. 3rd down and 8. Bringing pressure. Picked up this time. Incomplete. Went for Bryce Bobo. Defended by Kevin King.
Talked about Bryce Bobo being about 80-85% from talking to his coaches. And they thought that means a lot for this young man as far as how well he's able to play. But this is a sticks route. He's going to push up, run his curl route, sit around the sticks. This secondary for Washington has done such a good job of pattern matching and kind of seeing that going into this game. They've been all over the Colorado wide receivers on third down.
Kenny's punt, not a good one. We'll see where they spot this thing. Officials still moving. Be pretty good field position for Washington. A top 10 showdown for the Pac-12 championship. Washington trying to pull away.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even mermutts. And we covered it February 3rd, 2016. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Thinks you gotta make a truck heavier to make it stronger has been working too long without a hard hat. Meet the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. They cut weight with a high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and reinvested a big chunk of it to beef up the high-strength steel frame, forging the most capable heavy-duty pickup in America. Time to punch work in the face. This is the next level. This is the all-new Ford Super Duty.
Time to tailgate. You and me. The Tailgate 2000. Tailgating across America. You want to come with me? Want to go on a road trip? Me and Marcus! Tailgate tour! I don't know about that. I'll think about it, man. You'll think about it? Cardell, it was his idea. Cordell's going? Marcus was like, hey, I'll go on that. No. Vince Wilfork. He's coming. I'm going to give him a call. Oh, don't do that. I'll let you drive. If you let me drive, I'll go. Shotgun. Oh, yeah, you drive. Yeah, I can drive. Hey, Larry, I thought I was driving. Guys, cold Dr. Pepper, yeah? Let's go, Dr. Pepper, here!
The Rams battle the Patriots. And in America's Game of the Week, the Giants clash with the Steelers. It all begins at 11 Eastern. And don't miss a huge doubleheader on Fox.
Washington in front of Colorado 24-7. Early on in the third quarter. Score $1,000 in tuition now. Tweet your one-of-a-kind goal with hashtag Dr. Pepper giveaway. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, and Jenny Taft back here in Santa Clara. A couple of teams making their first appearance in the Pac-12 championship. The winner will get the trophy somewhere down there. There it is. So Washington takes back over at the 26. And this play's blown up. That is an incomplete pass. Tedrick Thompson wrapping around the blocks that were set up and hitting McClatcher before that ball even got there.
He's a second-team all-conference player. He's got 7 interceptions. That leads the Pac-12. That's because how well he can diagnose plays. Watch right as McClatcher comes out. Tedrick Thompson is immediately going to think screen, and he's going to run around the Washington wide receivers and basically blow up the play. Talk about the senior-laden defense. A lot of experience. These guys in Colorado.
Second down, here's Gaskin. Tiniest of holes, allowing him to sneak through for 5, and it's third down.
This is the down where Jake Browning needs to step up his level of play. Typically he has pinpoint accuracy. It's really where he excels. 3rd and 5, it's on his shoulders. He needs to find a way of getting back into a rhythm, get some confidence again in the passing game.
Browning just 4 of 14 today. Pressure coming from Colorado. Browning knocked down and incomplete. Jimmy Gilbert got his hand on it, and it's 4th down. Colorado's defense trying to keep them in this game. Out comes the punt team.
And here's Jimmy Gilbert. He leads Colorado in sacks, and when you can't hit home, what do they tell you to do? Put your hands up, bat down the football. It's one of the most frustrating things as a quarterback. Browning had Darrell Daniels running open. A little shallow cross route, but could not get it to him. And credit the Colorado defense. They forced a field goal 2 possessions ago. Now they get a 3-and-out.
Oliver goes back to return Vizcaino's punt, and he drills it. Holy cow. Oliver goes back and receives it at his own 5 and pushed out of bounds at the 9. That's a 64-yard boom from Vizcaino, a season long. These 2 first-timers in the championship game, and somewhat similar trajectories over the last few decades for these programs. Colorado won a national title in 1990. 1991 it was Washington splitting it with Miami. But then over the next quarter century, just 1 conference title for each side. Colorado did it in the Big 12 in 2001. Rick Neuheisel led Washington to the title in 2000. And now here they are meeting in the Pac-12 championship game. Lufau on the offense, back out there. Cepho keeps it and loses a yard.
We talked about the trajectory of both of these teams. You know, Mike McIntyre just won the Walter Camp Coach of the Year award. But Chris Peterson could have easily been up for that too, if not for really the resurgence of Colorado. Going from last to first. I mean, Washington was second to last in the Pac-12 North last year.
Yeah, just because Colorado was so bad the previous 5 years, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But this has been a turnaround for Washington as well. Lufau retreating, delivering, and Ento climbs the ladder, but couldn't pull it in. Fabian Ento, it looked like, was going to pull down a contested catch. There's a flag down in the end zone where Lufau was hit.
Well, watch Cepho Lufau and the pressure and duress that he's under. If it's not Keyshawn Bierria, it's the next guy wrapping in. It's been Psalm Wuching from that position. This time, it's Benning Potoai.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense number 8. A 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
I keep saying it, but Colorado hasn't made any adjustments up front on their offensive line. That is the same exact pressure they bring. They bring a linebacker right up through the A gap. They force Philip Lindsay to take him, and they wrap their defensive end, which is Psalm Wuching or Benning Potoai, back in through that same path. And you can see he's a free runner every time.
It's a first down from the 24. They toss it outside to Lindsay. Taylor Rapp is waiting for him, and he loses a yard. Through to Baker there as well. And it's second down and long.
At some point, you got to take some shots. You got to try to stretch out this Washington defense because kind of creeping closer and closer down around the line of scrimmage. They're allowing one-on-one coverage on the outside, so you got to start working to your playmakers and taking a shot.
On second down, Lindsay motions out. Lufau looks short side. Now throws it incomplete. A little bit dangerously with Kevin King bearing down on Lindsay. Third and long.
Lufau's pass intended for Lindsay, incomplete.
And Lufau in his second half since returning from injury is 0 for 5 with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and it's tough sledding on third and long. But the guy you really want to look at is number 2, Devin Ross. He's right there in the slot. He's the guy they rely on, try to look to. If not, look for Shea Fields down on the bottom.
Free rusher. Lufau ducks him. Now runs and gains only a yard. Bartlett and Gaines stopping Cepho Lufau, and it's fourth down.
And this is essentially a coverage sack. I mean, look at the job that the secondary does. They bring Budda Baker off the edge. Taylor Rapp comes down. He can cover. You see Kevin King covering up top. Nowhere to go with the football. Then you see Sidney Jones down low. Step for step with Shea Fields. I mean, there's just nothing there.
Pettis back to return Kinney's punt. Dante Pettis 5 punt return touchdowns in his career. A short one from Kinney will be downed at the 39. 24-7, Washington in front of Colorado, looking for its first Pac-12 championship game win.
Okay, anyone like coming in first place in everything that matters? Introducing the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty, the only high-strength, military-grade, aluminum alloy body, heavy-duty pickup. It takes first place in every measure of tough. Best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, best-in-class horsepower, and best-in-class torque. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is the next level. This is the all-new Ford Super Duty.
Ain't no gift like the present tense. Ain't no love like the whole romance. Got to make hay when the sun's shining. Can't waste time when it comes time to dance. Long live the heart, long live the soul that knows what it wants.
I've made a breakthrough in bucket technology. My new KFC $10 chicken share. This innovative new bucket is technical and complicated, so let me put it in layman's terms. It's a bucket for two. This cutting-edge design is perfect for sharing. My chicken share allows for 9 extra crispy tenders, or 6 delicious pieces of original recipe, or 2 heaping helpings of my popcorn nuggets. A bucket for $10? What? This delicious chicken share took a lot of math, quantum science, and imagining a different size bucket. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The Pac-12 Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper, is sponsored by KFC's new $10 chicken share as a bucket for two. KFC, it's finger-licking good, and by the all-new LG V20. Life's good when you play more. 24-7 Washington. This was a 7-7 game midway through the second quarter. It was 14-7 at halftime, but Washington taking advantage of a pair of Cephalou foul interceptions, both from Taylor Rapp. Looks like they traveled their chant from Boulder. It's quite a scene at Folsom Field when they do that. Have 50,000 in there, all that rhythmic clap. Levon Coleman on first down, slips the first man, another, and it seems like every time Coleman carries it, there's some contact around the line of scrimmage, and he somehow sneaks out for more.
Yeah, if you go back to the first half, yards after contact for both Myles Gaskin and Levon Coleman really been the key tonight. And the interesting thing is, coming into the game, Philip Lindsay's actually been one of the best running backs in the Pac-12 as far as getting yards after contact, but that has not been the case. It's been the exact opposite.
Washington continues to ride that ground game. 33 runs, only 15 passes. On 2nd and 5, run it again. Coleman slips out of another, and a first down inside the 45. Louisier with a tackle after 13 yards. Gaskin already has 100. Coleman now has 80.
And they continue to keep having success in one of two ways. They get outside to the edges, and then they're able to get upfield vertically. Well, they're working basically to their left side of their offensive line. Call them the all-conference left side from the center over.
Gaskin back in there. A boot. Browning sets. Gaskin underneath. Wide open against Gillum. Makes a miss. First down inside the 20. 24 yards from Myles Gaskin, and a first down for Washington.
It was close. Colorado's only given up 3 plays, running at 50 yards. He almost broke that one, but nothing downfield. Jake Browning wisely gets the ball down to Myles Gaskin in the flat. Gaskin does the rest. He's so tough to tackle in space. So quick, so agile. He's got that low center of gravity. Very versatile back.
Split him out here. Now he goes back in there with Jake Browning. On the 19-yard line. A fake to him. They pump short. Browning feeling the heat. And able to float it outside. A one-handed catch by John Ross. A highlight reel touchdown. touchdown. Are you kidding me?
For a team that relies on execution every once in a while to throw in some gadget plays, this is just a heck of a play made by John Ross when everything was breaking down. He finds a way of saving his quarterback, who looked like he was just trying to throw the football away.
Wow. John Ross, only his second catch of the game, and it bails out Jake Browning and puts Washington in front 31-7.
Well, here's the thing. Here was the initial play design. They were actually pumping. We're going to see the other side of the field, but they were actually pumping a screen. And then because of the pressure from Jimmy Gilbert, Browning's looking to just try to throw the football away near an eligible wide receiver, and it's John Ross who makes the ridiculous catch. You can see Dante Pettis at the top right of your screen. He releases downfield. That was going to be the guy they were trying to work towards. Unbelievable.
You saw the reaction on Browning's face, like, oh my goodness, because I'm thinking when he let that thing go, the most likely outcome if it was going to be caught was Awuzie going the other way.
But how about this? 42 touchdowns now. He's one away from tying the Pac-12 record set by Jared Goff, and he hasn't had, this has been the worst performance of the season so far.
So he's one short of the Pac-12 record for single-season passing touchdowns. John Ross is now one short of the Pac-12 record for single-season receiving touchdowns with 17. 24 unanswered for the Huskies. Jomies has a seam and takes it across the 45, lost it into the hands of Philip Lindsay, who's going to take this thing inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5, first and goal, Colorado. Wow.
And just when you thought this game was over, Anthony Joel finds a way of getting a spark. They run the sideline return. He doesn't see the defender behind. I believe that was possibly Brandon Beaver who knocks it out, and Philip Lindsay, who else? It seems like every time they need a play, Philip Lindsay steps up and finds a way to make something happen for this Colorado team.
So first and goal for the Buffs.
And this is where typically Sefo Lufau comes into play with a power quarterback running game, but because of that injury to his right leg, you might see a different look. It might be more of a multiple tight end set, more of the power running game utilizing Philip Lindsay.
A timeout taken by Chris Peterson. First one used by Washington in this half. Time for our KFC stat comparison. Washington dominated this game on the ground. 188. They've been almost exclusively on the ground. Jake Browning just 4 of 15. And then the 2 Colorado turnovers turning into 10 points for UW. There were times during the Apple Cup last week that felt similar to this, where Washington had a big lead and then Washington State attempted to grab momentum. A pair of goal line stands, though, for Washington in that game. And they'll try to come up with another here.
Well, obviously the onus is going to be on the offensive line, but also really tight ends. They got 4 tight ends right now in the game. There's no wide receiver.
This is Maryland Eye.
This is old school Colorado power running game right here.
Lindsay downhill, spinning his way, and he's shut down. And I tell you what, Washington takes pride in these situations on defense.
Well, Vita Vea, big number 50, just got so much penetration off the snap. It allows the guys in the second level to run up and make plays. Look at Taylor Rapp there at the end. Excuse me, that's Ezekiel Turner. Talk about Vita Vea, 6'5", 332 pounds. I mean, just a mammoth of a man. And talked to defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski. Said he's got all the tools, everything that you would want. It's just he needs to play that impactful way more consistently. We see it in practice every once in a while, but not as much as we'd like to see. Take a look at the injured player for Colorado down on the field.
Jeremy Irwin, their captain, left tackle.
Second team all Pac-12. He's been the cornerstone of that offensive front for Colorado.
And that is his brother, Sean Irwin. Plays tight end for the Buffs.
It's number 76 right there at left tackle. Always something scary when you see a guy fire off the football, and you always get concerned whenever it involves the neck or head area.
And so it's extra nice to see him get to his feet and walk off under his own power.
Number 76, Jeremy Irwin.
If they lose arguably their top offensive lineman in a goal line situation, with Washington digging in, trying to keep this 31-7 advantage. Replaced by Shane Callahan, a senior from Parker, Colorado.
Two on the previous play will bring up seconds and goal from the 4-yard line.
Well, here's the tough part when you're trying to decide which way you want to go on second and goal. You got to first off decide, is this 4-down territory? Do you feel like you're down by enough where you've got 4 downs to do it? If so, you can go ahead and run the football here again. But if not, you may want to think about a play action pass, something of that nature. Because obviously, if you run the football and don't get it here, then everyone knows you got to throw on 3rd down. That makes it tough for your offensive line and protection.
And again, Lufau working on a bum leg, not his usual effective running. Shea Fields the motion man. They fake it to him. It is play action. There's a flag down. And Lufau throws incomplete. Went to the back of the end zone. Out of Dylan Keeney's reach. Let's see what the call is.
Holding. Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Second out.
To right tackle Aaron Hagler.
Yeah, we've seen Aaron Hagler as well as, there he is, as well as Sam Kronsage mixed in and out. Clearly, see his left arm wrapped around Elijah Qualls. And Sefo Lufau tries to roll out.
And as if it's not tough enough already to get into the end zone down here against Washington.
Keep an eye on Devin Ross.
It's a shovel pass instead of toss outside. And it is Ross. Lufau had the option of throwing that thing out to Ross or flipping it underneath to Lindsey. Goes to Ross, 3rd and goal.
This is the tough part. You know, you've got a lot of guys with speed for Colorado who can typically stretch the field vertically. But down this close, you got to kind of rely on some misdirection and the quickest in short spaces. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to work the number 2, Devin Ross, especially if it's in one-on-one coverage versus Budda Baker.
Only 5 to snap it. Lufau, and it's knocked away. Kevin King closed on Ross in a hurry. And 4th down coming up. You have to take the points, don't you?
I mean, they haven't had a ton of success getting down to this area, but it looks like that's what Mike McIntyre is going to do. Watch the secondary, though. Watch Zeke Turner, and you're going to see Taylor Rapp as well. Right here, number 21. They're going to switch. They felt like he wanted to go to that side of the field. They wanted to give Budda Baker here in the slot a little extra help on Devin Ross if he went upfield vertically. Good adjustment by defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski.
Graham hooks it just barely through. The kicking game has not been a strength in Colorado this season. But Graham hits it, and it's a 21-point game. So Kevin King saves a touchdown, tracking down Phillip Lindsay on the kick return.
Seems like there's always one of the players there for Washington making extra effort. As we go back and look at Chris Graham's kick, look at this thing. Just gets through.
There's Kevin King. There were a couple of big tackles, like you said, it seems like every time they needed on special teams last week in the Apple Cup against Washington State.
What about the interception we saw after a turnover versus Arizona State?
Yeah.
The one-handed snag and still getting a foot in bounds for the turnover. And that was coming off of a penalty that held back an interception return for a touchdown. So it just seems like they always find a way of getting a stand.
John Ross has the latest Washington touchdown, and he's back to return this one from Graham. Nearby Burlingame, California. The junior sends it away. A lot of hang time, but Ross is going to take it from the 5. John Ross cutting outside and tumbling down to the 29. This is the 6th Pac-12 championship game. Oregon and Stanford have taken all of the first 5. Well, Michael James had a big day in the initial one up in Eugene. And the next year, Kevin Hogan leading Stanford over UCLA. Second consecutive week they had to beat the Bruins. They made it back-to-back in 2013 against Arizona State. And then in the first year here at Levi's Stadium, Marcus Mariota and the Ducks moved into the college football playoff, beating Arizona. Last year, Christian McCaffrey stole the show against USC. The Cardinal won their 3rd Pac-12 title game. On first down, Gaskin can't get away from Ryan Mulder. So this will be the first championship game won by somebody other than Oregon or Stanford. And the first conference title period won by anybody other than those two teams since USC under Pete Carroll back in 2008.
The ironic thing is USC has beaten both these teams this year. And there's another conference championship game coming up on Fox tomorrow. And Michigan's beaten both those teams.
7 down, 11. Browning back to throw. Steps into a comeback for John Ross, and Witherspoon drops him a couple of yards short. It'll be 3rd and 2.
John Ross is so quick in and out of his cuts. That's what creates the separation that kind of gives Jake Browning that window where the ball can come in there and they get those completions. It's because so many people respect his speed, but watch him to the right of your screen. Watch him drops Witherspoon at the top of the route, and Witherspoon's one of the best in coverage in the Pac-12. But even he can't keep up with the speed of John Ross.
Awuzie draws Ross on 3rd and short. David Ajamu enters the formation. In there to block. Browning punts, delivers. Ross juggles and catches. And stays on his feet inside the 45. John Ross putting on a show in the second half for Washington. 19 yards here.
3rd and 2 typically is that situation where you'd see they were going to run, but when you actually look at all the bodies down around the line of scrimmage, they've only got one-on-one to the top of the screen. That's why Jake Browning elected to instead pull the football and throw it downfield to Ross.
Browning just 8 of 19. Story tonight for Washington, the ground game and the 2 Taylor Rapp interceptions. Wants Ross on one-on-one. Sails it over him with a coverage from Awuzie.
Good coverage by Awuzie, just no room as he worked John Ross towards the sideline. It's like John Ross is now going to take a break, but it's one of the things we talked to Jonathan Smith, the offensive coordinator for Washington. He said he felt like he wanted to get a little bit more tempo, and he felt like Jake Browning was struggling to throw the football. I felt like that was helping him get back into a rhythm and be more successful.
And the Wildcat, Gaskin and Coleman both in there. McClatcher coming in motion. It's Gaskin straight ahead. And a short game. So it'll be 3rd down. So these are the worst numbers for Browning other than the USC game. The difference in this one is that they've run the ball because they were totally shut down from running it against USC and their lone loss this year.
Well, and you see the 2 touchdowns and the no interceptions, and you say to yourself, well, it's not that bad of a game. This is just vintage Colorado defense and their secondary, because they've done this to everyone they faced. I mean, opposing quarterbacks have completed less than 50% of their passes on average. But the way they've scored at some of these touchdowns, I mean, the John Ross one is just ridiculous.
3rd down and 8. Pressure coming. Browning steps into it. Incomplete. Awuzie the coverage on Sample and no flags.
Well, there's a lot of Colorado secondary players hanging around Drew Sample. He's only got 7 catches on the season. Again, they need to get Dante Pettis more involved in this game. He's only got 1 catch so far tonight. I believe he's been targeted twice. He's the other element to this passing game that really, when Ross has been quiet, Pettis steps up and gets it going.
Piscano to punt with Oliver waiting back. Come after it. Don't quite get there. Look out if you're Jomi, and he does. And it rolls out of bounds inside the 5. Piscano's got a 61-yarder earlier, and now he pins him down there. Tomorrow, the Big Ten Championship on Fox. Wisconsin and Penn State with coverage starting at 7 Eastern. Watch it live on Fox Sports Go as well. The winner of that game would love to think that they could get in, but they're probably going to need some help for that to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get the sense that there's a lot of teams out there. Those 2 teams, maybe even a team up north up there in Michigan, that are rooting for Colorado tonight to try to pull off the upset. Maybe they feel like they've got a better shot of making it into that number 4 spot of the college football playoff.
And then they all become Hokie fans tomorrow, waiting for Virginia Tech to take down Clemson. Backed into their own end zone. Lufau looks to throw. He's well protected and throws incomplete. Shea Fields defended by Kevin King. I've seen some things posted online. The Colorado logo, but in maize and blue with a Michigan M on it.
And look, it's kind of wishful thinking, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm not saying that Michigan shouldn't get in. They're a very deserving team, but in Colorado, if Sefo Lufau doesn't get hurt in that game, they got a shot.
Lindsey gets him some breathing room.
And that's part of the criteria, too, of the College Football Playoff Committee. They're going to evaluate those games, and look at the 2 losses for Colorado this year. Sefo Lufau got injured in both those games. If not, it's an entirely different scenario we're probably talking about. 3rd down, this is where Sefo Lufau really needs to step up. He's going to have to find a matchup. You always got to rely on those guys who are your playmakers, Devin Ross and Shea Fields.
Lufau 2 for 9 on the night. Final seconds of this 3rd quarter. And on 3rd down and 5, 8 in coverage. McIntyre can't get it, and it is picked off again. This time Ezekiel Turner. 3rd pick of the 3rd quarter by the Washington defense, trying to guide the Huskies to the college football playoff. They are 15 minutes away from moving to 12-1 and from their first conference title since 2000. Off of the hands of McIntyre and picked by Turner.
It's the holidays at Verizon, and the best deals are on the best network. Yes! With no surprise overages, you can use your data worry-free and even carry over the data you don't use. And right now, get 4 lines and 20 gigs for only $40 per line. And just for the holidays, get the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge for only $15 per month. No trade-in required.
I love you in that. No, I love you in that. No, I love you in that.
Hurry, these offers end soon. Get the best deals and the best network only on Verizon.
The Pac-12 Championship on Fox is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. And CFB, who threw 3 interceptions during the regular season, has been picked off 3 times in the third quarter alone.
And twice they've been tipped. And you're going to take a look here at Ben Burkervin. He's going to affect where CFB wants to throw football. Now freeze it. If you look, once Ben Burkervin starts driving on it, he's trying to hit that shoulder. The problem is Lufau, because of the pressure on his legs, can't finish through the throw. That ends up being an overthrow, and Ezekiel Turner gets the 3rd interception of the night, his 1st of the year.
2 of those interceptions off of Jay McIntyre's hands. Turner getting that one. First 2 came from Taylor Rapp. We begin the 4th quarter with Washington on the doorstep. Browning fakes. He boots. Eyes downfield, and he hits Drew Sample. Sample down to the 2. Awuzie the tackle.
That's his 1st reception in the red zone this year. Typically they like utilizing Drew Sample off of play action, mostly boots, and he does what he did right there. He's just going to kind of act like he's blocking the run play, then release out in the flat for an easy completion.
More of a blocking tight end initially in his career, but the sophomore from Bellevue, Washington, getting better and better as a receiving option. 2nd down and 2. Throwing the fade. John Ross. Incomplete. Off of Awuzie's back. And it's 3rd down.
John Ross had a step. I mean, he freezes Awuzie at the line of scrimmage. Look at this. I mean, literally left him in the dust. This is just a poorly thrown football. And good recovery by Awuzie to get back and disrupt the pass play. But Jake Browning has been much better than this.
CFB watches as far away as he can. Third down and 2. They can get a 1st down here. Take to Coleman. Browning throwing in zone. Knocked away. Sticking his hand in there was Witherspoon. Number 1 in the country in passes defended, and he's got another.
Textbook coverage. Look how he has inside leverage. He can't let John Ross inside of him, and he doesn't. That is exactly how you want to play at the cornerback position. It doesn't get any better than that.
And the field goal team does come out. Chris Peterson going to try to make this a 24-point game again, which technically is still a 3-score game, but obviously would require a few 2-point conversions. 20-yard. Nearly blocked. But it sneaks through, and they take advantage of the 3rd interception of this 2nd half. 13 points off turnovers and a 34-10 lead.
Come on! Why doesn't Verizon offer unlimited data like T-Mobile?
Is it because their LTE network was built 6 years ago?
6 years ago? That's like 100 in phone years.
Their LTE network is older, slower, and they limit you. Switch to T-Mobile, the newer, faster, and unlimited network. We cover 99% of the Americans Verizon covers. Switch your family of 4 to T-Mobile, and we'll give you $800 to spend anywhere you want.
What? Oh, hi.
Hello.
Save 10 when you spend 50 on holiday decor and trees at Target.
Yay! Meta appetite control. It helps put some distance between you and temptation. Clinically proven to help reduce hunger between meals. From Metamucil, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
With class-exclusive load-leveling rear air suspension to confidently tow the heaviest loads, the largest available touchscreen in its class, and the legendary Hemi engine or proven Cummins diesel, only Ram 3500 from the family of America's longest-lasting pickups has the power to light up every holiday. And now get great deals at the Ram Big Finish event. Now get 20% off MSRP cash allowance on select 2016 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
Bro, this stuff is on fire.
Somebody call the fire department? Woo-woo!
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Bro, your stuff is on fire.
Someone better call the fire department.
Yeah, you should call the fire department. This is your stuff.
More people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm. Here to help life go right.
The Pac-12 Championship presented by Dr. Pepper is sponsored by State Farm. Here to help life go right. By Ram Trucks, America's longest lasting pickups. And by T-Mobile, switch to the network built for unlimited data. With Brady Quinn and Jenny Taft, Joe Davis back in Santa Clara. Washington has the 34-10 lead. Scoring 27 of the last 30 points in a game that was tied at 7 late in the first half. Turning point of this game, CFB Lufau going out with an ankle injury or some sort of a lower leg injury. He's come back, but he's not been effective throwing it, and he's been a non-factor running it. Yeah, this will allow Colorado to begin at the 35.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team number 43. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Colorado.
So we're getting close, Brady. Time for a Nissan Heisman watch. How do you see it?
Well, look, I think it's Lamar Jackson's award at this point. Jake Browning had an opportunity tonight, and the night's not over. He can still have a big fourth quarter here, but at this point in time, you look at the production of Lamar Jackson, what he's done this season. We don't have his rushing yards up there, but man, he'd be ranked like 70th as a team based on his overall production. But Jake Browning deserves a trip to New York, no doubt.
Lufau finishes forward for a short gain. Browning just 9 of 24 for 118 tonight. You saw Lufau a moment ago, even more struggles in this game. He's 2 of 10 for 16 yards and those 3 picks. Lindsey drilled in the backfield and planted by Tevis Bartlett. A high school quarterback who's seeing more time lately with the injuries they've had at that buck position. 3rd down and 11.
Bartlett, second team all-conference academic. You know, there's a number of players for Washington who are part of that as well. That's something Chris Peterson's really excited about. That's what his players do both on the field and off the field.
Washington bringing it, and on a screen, Lindsey can't hang on.
Buda Baker came off the edge, and he timed this up about as well as you possibly could. See him, he's going to come right from this side. Excuse me, there he is. And you can't dial up a better play call for that sort of pressure. Philip Lindsey's going to be out in space with lead blockers in front of him. Just can't seem to get anything going right now in the passing game.
Pettis, a fair catch, taken at the 34-yard line. Not the kind of night CFB Lufau and the Buffs envision. In a big hole, and it's getting late in Santa Clara.
Come on! Why doesn't Verizon offer unlimited data like T-Mobile?
Is it because their LTE network was built 6 years ago?
6 years ago? That's like 100 in phone years.
Their LTE network is older, slower, and they limit you. Switch to T-Mobile, the newer, faster, and unlimited network. We cover 99% of the Americans Verizon covers. Switch your family of 4 to T-Mobile, and we'll give you $800 to spend anywhere you want.
Where is he?
I'm never putting Chris in charge of the guac again.
Chris is late with the guac.
What? Chris isn't there with the guac, man. Are you kidding me?
Well, who put Chris in charge of the guac?
Chris is late with the guac.
me in one job!
Oh, Chris!
Finally!
Guacamole made with avocados from Mexico is always there. They're always fresh and always in season, even when Chris drops the ball.
Avocados from Mexico.
It takes hard work, dedication, and hours of practice for a drumline to perfect its routine. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is just as precise, but it only requires a few minutes of your time. Now, you can securely share your financial information with the push of a button, giving you an accurate and custom mortgage solution without missing a beat. Rocket! Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics. Rocket!
MLS Cup, next Saturday at 7:30 on Fox.
The Huskies minutes away from their first conference title since 2000 and a likely trip to the college football playoff. They want Bama. Careful what you wish for, no matter who you are. From the 35-yard line, here's Myles Gaskin, surging forward for 5. Well, how do you think they match up with the Crimson Tide if that does happen to be that first-round game?
Jake Browning's got to play a lot better than he has tonight. But if they can play physical versus that defensive front and that offensive line, then they've got a shot, especially as well as their defense has played so far tonight, really all season long. That's the tough part. I mean, that might be the best front seven that Nick Saban's had at Alabama. That's how dominant they've been this year defensively.
That's saying something. The guys they've had around there under him. On second down, Gaskin again. Great patience and vision for a first down.
What allows him to be able to see those holes, it's partially patience, but it's also his technique. Keeps his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. That allows him to be able to see and be able to make that backside cut once he presses the hole and stretches the defense. He can then get vertical, be able to cut up inside for the big game.
21 carries for 120 tonight for Myles Gaskin, sophomore from Linwood, Washington. He's an all-around athlete there. He won a track state championship in the 100 meters. Used to be a basketball player, dunked when he was in 8th grade. This time contacted in the backfield by Jordan Carroll, but still fights free and gets 2 yards.
Colorado got some, but check this out, by the way. Check the official here towards the end. We'll see if we can still see him. It kind of phases out.
Oh,
there it is.
48 got him.
Little stumble there. It happens from time to time.
There was some talk about the footing down there not being good. I don't think that had anything to do with it. Happens to all of us. 2nd and 8. Washington trying to grind this thing down. Myles Gaskin again. Addison Gillum drives him down. A short gain, and it's 3rd down. So the Washington Huskies set to go to 12-1. 9-1 they'd be in the Pac-12. Hoping for a spot in the playoff under that guy.
You know, Chris Peterson is known for some of his gadget or trick plays. We haven't really seen any tonight. Kind of curious to see if maybe they get an additional one on film for Alabama or whoever they play based on the rankings in the college football playoff.
On 3rd and 7, a stretch play to Gaskin, who has a first down. Myles Gaskin, a heavy load here, trying to run the clock down. His 24th touch of the night.
Check out the offensive line. Watch these guys move in space. There's 3 separate guys out and running. That's Trey Adams, that's Coleman Shelton, Nick Harris, all of those guys. I can't say enough about the athleticism of Washington's offensive line. That's why they're able to have so much success getting to the edges, because these guys get up out of their three-point stance, and then they get out in open space and they cover guys up. Sometimes it's hard for those bigger bodies when you get out there on those cornerbacks and safeties to be able to, cover them, because they can just run right around you.
Only one senior in that starting group. Washington's going to be really good for the foreseeable future. Von Coleman, 87 yards for him tonight now. Another factor that we've not talked about, but don't underestimate Chris Peterson when he's got more than a month to prepare for a team. If there's any coach in America that scares you with that amount of time on his hands to get ready, it's him.
Yeah, we've seen him from his time at Boise State. If you want to say lesser talented teams are undermanned, we've seen how he's performed on the big stage. And that's something that I think plays into his wheelhouse, something that he really thrives on. It's part of the reason why I wanted to come to Washington too, is just to take on the challenge of what that would mean coming into the Pac-12.
Coleman moves him inside the 25-yard line. And he told us that he was content at Boise, could have stayed there forever, but that 8-5 season for him, a down year in 2013, and decided that he needed to get out of his comfort zone. He interviewed for the USC job, but just wasn't the right fit for either side. A couple of days later, USC hired Steve Sarkisian from Washington, and 3 days after that, Washington hired Peterson.
What a pleasure he is to sit down with and talk to him.
Yeah.
The hard part is just getting to be able to sit down and talk.
Yeah, this guy laser focused. When we roll into town later in the week, he wants nothing to do with sitting down with us. We got him there early this week, and couldn't have been nicer to sit down and chat football with. Here's Coleman, staying on his feet, and bouncing his way for a gain of 8.
Coleman's had himself one heck of a night. That rush takes him over 100 yards, and at the end of the season like this, as much as Myles Gaskin touches the football for Washington, they needed to have some other complement to him, especially because of the stature of Myles Gaskin. He's not the biggest back, so they've got to have someone else to share the carries, and Levon Coleman has come on at the right time.
And he's actually now at 17 carries for 100 yards with the latest touch. Both Gaskin and Coleman reaching the century mark. Coleman stop and start and a first down. Or close to at least, so to depend on the spot.
If I'm Jake Browning right now, and I know I'm one pass away from tying the single season record in the Pac-12,
right.
I am begging Chris Peterson or Jonathan Smith to let me at least take a shot. I know they want to run the football and continue to dominate the line of scrimmage, but at some point, you got one-on-one coverage on the outside, and they don't have John Ross or Pettis in right now. So I would anticipate them continuing to run the football on 3rd and short. But if they get this, at some point, throw me a bone, man. Let me go out there and at least take one shot towards the end zone.
No question that he knows that he's one short.
He's probably well aware.
Yeah. Even a guy is focused on the team as Jake Browning is. So first down inside the 10, Myles Gaskin. So 42 touchdowns this year, which pales in comparison to what he did in high school. 229 during his career, not too far from here. Folsom High School, Sacramento area.
Was it 91, 96 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Senior year? 1 year. It's ridiculous.
First time that 2 players have reached 100 yards for one team in the Pac-12 championship game. Well, 1st and goal. Gaskin is in there. He's got it. Lost a yard.
It was fun sitting down talking to some of the players on the team this week with Washington. Had a chance to sit down and talk to John Ross, Dante Pettis. They kind of gave us an inside look to Jake Browning. So he's all business. Constantly in there watching film. Half the time they've got to have security kicking him out of the building because he's staying too late. But John Ross talked about, he goes, when he first got here, he basically wanted to come over and use my laptop all the time. I mean, he talked about how disconnected sometimes Jake Browning is from everything else going on outside of football and school. That was one of the things that he mentioned. He said, yeah, he'd come over, borrow my laptop, and then we come out and practice together.
2nd and goal. And play clock all the way down. Give it to Gaskin again. It'll be 3rd down and goal now. We said to those guys, to Pettis and to Ross, You know, Jake Browning is kind of this mysterious character because he doesn't do a ton in the media. They somewhat keep him from that, and that's not in his personality either. So we said to John Ross, we feel like we don't really know Jake Browning. And John Ross said, neither do we.
It's a lonely position sometimes. It really can be, because you've got to have kind of a different focus and a different feel for how you prepare yourself for a game. You can't always let the emotions get involved or get the best of you.
Going to take a timeout with 1 second, Chris Peterson says. And 4:29 left in the Pac-12 championship. All Huskies in this one.
Shark diving.
Xerox personalized employee portals help companies make benefits simple and accessible from anywhere.
Hula dancing. Cliff jumping.
Xerox Human Resource Services, soon to be Conduent.
Which allergy?
Freeze.
Bees.
Freeze.
Trees.
Xerox helps hospitals use electronic health records so doctors provide more personalized care.
Cheese.
Xerox Healthcare Services, soon to be Conduent. It's the holidays at Verizon, and the best deals are on the best network.
Yes!
With no surprise overages, you can use your data worry-free and even carry over the data you don't use. And right now, get 4 lines and 20 gigs for only $40 per line. And just for the holidays, get the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge for only $15 per month. No trade-in required.
I love you in that. No, I love you in that. No, I love you in that.
Hurry, these offers end soon. Get the best deals and the best network only on Verizon.
There are those who love sriracha and those who haven't tried it. And for a limited time, Wendy's Bacon Sriracha Fries are the perfect introduction. Sriracha-infused aioli and applewood smoked bacon, all for $1.99. And at Wendy's, there's more sriracha to come.
We need a big tree. Something for everyone to gather around. And you know what else I'm thinking? Lights.
Some help.
Got it! And the ornaments might take a little bit more time. But we're gonna get it just right. What do you think, Bullseye? Okay, let's do this.
Hey, how's this look?
Whoa.
What do you think?
It's like you read my mind.
It's the live Ultimate Fighter finale on FS1. Demetrius Johnson puts his belt on the line against Ultimate Fighter winner Tim Elliott. The Ultimate Fighter finale, Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
The Huskies minutes away from a Pac-12 title. You can pick the winners of this season's college football bowl games, play with friends, and compete for prizes. Please sign up at foxsports.com/fantasy. Joe Davis, Brady Quinn, and Jenny Taft. For the final few minutes of this one in Santa Clara, Washington minutes away from reaching 12 wins for only the second time in program history. The other time, the national championship year, 1990. A work out of the Wildcat. Chico McClatcher got a great cut block from Levon Coleman to get him into the end zone for the touchdown. Running backs have done it all tonight.
And this is the versatility of Coleman, but also Chico McClatcher. This is what they're capable of doing. Watch him come, cut down the edge of the defense, and that allows Chico McClatcher to get outside. Talk to Jonathan Smith about him. He was injured earlier this season, and Jonathan Smith kind of mentioned the fact that, yeah, that really hurts our offense because he's one of those guys, I can use him in a variety of ways.
I think when he went down, that was late September, Jonathan Smith said that he was his favorite player on this loaded offense to call plays for at that point.
Daddy, you done yet?
One last screw, sweetie, and we're done.
Sweet!
You deserve the sweet reward of a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I do?
You built this big old house with that tiny tool.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh.
That is sweet.
Oh, yeah!
You know, the game's about to start.
That's my ride.
Is that our cat?
Step on.
Real sweet.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
It's the sweet one.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I used to ask if you could hear me now with Verizon. Not anymore. I switched to Sprint because their network reliability is now within 1% of Verizon, and they save you 50% on most current AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon rates.
Why is this one twice as much?
This one right here has 1% more needles.
Why pay twice as much for only a 1% difference?
We'll take this one. Can you hear that?
Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much. Happy holidays to you and your family. Switch to Sprint today.
With class-exclusive four-corner air suspension for a smooth, controlled, level ride. And the class-exclusive Rambox cargo management system, only Ram, America's longest-lasting pickups, have the power to light up every holiday. And now, get great deals at the Ram Big Finish event. Now get 20% off MSRP cash allowance on select 2016 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
Faster. 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 On that old PC, you should retire that too. You know.
I know. New PCs are lightning fast to play 4K video.
And yet here is the world's fastest swimmer on the world's slowest computer.
You know about it. Now do something about it. Upgrade to a new PC powered by Intel.
So why haven't you upgraded?
It keeps me humble.
The Pac-12 Championship is presented by the Dr. Pepper Tuition Giveaway. Learn more at drpeppertuition.com. Dr. Pepper, it's a college football tradition. And is sponsored by Intel. You know about it, now do something about it. An upgrade to a new PC. The trophy's headed back to Seattle. Washington will win its first conference title since 2000. And they hope some more hardware headed their way. Big Browning was not at his best tonight. Thankfully for him, the O-line in the ground game was. And a short kick taken by one of the up men to the 25. And so now for Colorado's case, they still hope for a Rose Bowl, assuming Washington gets into the playoff. The Rose Bowl would then take the next highest team. Will that be Colorado or would it be USC?
We'll have to wait and see how the rankings come out Sunday night, I believe. At that point in time, the hard thing is you look at USC, they got 3 losses. You're looking at Colorado, they have 3 losses. They all of a sudden start comparing them. The head-to-head play is really what might be the deciding factor if the Rose Bowl committee was to pick USC over Colorado.
Lufau throws that ball incomplete behind Ross, and they actually say that it was a backwards pass, and so a loss of 8 yards. Been a nightmarish evening for Sefo Lufau, who's done so many incredible things in his career, has been such a key part of this turnaround. But he's 2 of 12 for 16 yards and 3 picks.
He's had 5 games this season of 200 yards passing, 50 yards rushing. That puts him with Lamar Jackson and Josh Dobbs. Only 2 other quarterbacks. Those 3 have had that sort of production this season. And that's the kind of company he's been in. He's really played some of his best football the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, tonight, between the injury, some of the tip passes, which you can't put all on him, just hasn't gone Colorado's way.
A 3-time team captain. Looking to throw. And heaving the ball down the sidelines. Tipped and incomplete. Devin Ross couldn't hang on. And Lufau took another hit.
I'm trying to isolate Devin Ross, but it's just been good coverage downfield, really, by the second. That's Miles Bryant, true freshman for Washington. And this has been the other part. Sefo Lufau's been under duress all night long. When you've got a bad leg and you can't move around quite as much, you're a sitting duck back there.
John Clark hit him that time. Washington's brought in the second stringers for the most part. Shea Fields hit by Burr Curvin and staying on his feet to the 22. Are you surprised that Colorado didn't take more shots tonight?
Yeah, I think they talked about doing that going into the game. The problem was once Sefo Liufau got hurt, I just think it messed up the overall flow, really, of the offense. And I don't think they wanted to put too much on Steven Montez's shoulders. So at the end of the day, I think that's part of it. Maybe that sounds like I'm making an excuse for it, but I just think it's hard as a play caller when all of a sudden in a conference championship game, your starter goes down. You got a backup in. You really don't know how he's going to react. You've seen it in the regular season, but not on a huge national stage like this.
Busy night for Kinney. And not a good night for Kinney. Pettis comes up and takes a fair catch at the 45-yard line. That is only a 22-yard punt. Our progressive performance of the game, going to give it to the big guys up front for Washington, paving the way for a pair of 100-yard rushers.
253 total yards rushing tonight. We got to give it to the big guys. No one else is giving them some love. Primarily on the left side of the offensive line, but even Nick Harris, the true freshman, we've seen him pulling a number of times to the strength, to the weak side. They've all done a great job of just getting out in space, helping to pave the way for both Gaskin and Coleman.
You've always taken care of the line, though.
Oh, of course. They used to take the big guys, yeah. All you can eat, Italian.
Gaskin with 5 more yards.
I actually asked, we had the chance to sit down with Jake Eldrenkamp, who he's got some cool stories as well. He got engaged earlier this year, but we asked him if Jake or Myles Gaskin takes out the offensive line. He said no, not yet. They have yet to be able to take those guys out. I know. 2 years in a row, 1,000 yards rushing for Gaskin. And Jake Browning, he's been playing behind the majority of the time clean pockets. They need to give their line some love, man.
Feed them. Seattle's not the cheapest restaurant ticket.
No.
I bet you can find a spot, though. Maybe after this one. Maybe this is a tipping point. 2nd and 5. Gaskin again. Gaping hole again. Myles Gaskin with a dozen more. And 159 in the night for the sophomore.
We talked earlier when we sat down with Chris Peterson, one of those rare occurrences, but one of the things he mentioned right off the bat was the fact that he doesn't like talking about the college football playoff or what may happen at the end of the season. He's always focused on an opponent in front of him. But it was this week he said, no, now it's time to talk about it. We've got the chance to win the Pac-12, but if we do, we're in the college football playoff. So we want to make sure that our players understand that, and they know exactly what the goal is going into this game because they know there's a reward coming on the back end.
Into the victory formation. First of several kneel downs from Jake Browning. Of course, Kirby Hocutt, the chair of the playoff committee, said this week that it was really narrow between 4th-ranked Washington and 5th-ranked Michigan, in his opinion. And some people started to freak out about that. But the fact is, Michigan's sitting at home this weekend, and Washington is going to pull off a 41-10 win in a championship game. If they weren't already ahead, then, well,
they will be now.
Yeah.
And look, as far as conference championships, that has to be weighted heavier than some of the other criteria. I mean, why are we having conference championship games if they're not more meaningful than some of the other criteria? And if you're a fan out there, and if you're upset that maybe your team, whether it's Michigan or Ohio State, whoever it is, there's a possibility that they wouldn't get in, well, then talk to your conference about how they select their teams to play for the conference championship. I mean, the Big 12, I think, might be getting it right next year, where they just have the top 2 teams play for it, and they don't have divisions, and that way you allow some of the best matchups to take place for your conference championship.
And the playoff committee is going to dodge a major bullet if Clemson takes care of Virginia Tech tomorrow, and all this chaos we talked about maybe happening. It'll be pretty simple. This one, pretty simple. 41-10 Washington. And they douse Chris Peterson, who in his 3rd season at the helm of the program leads Washington to a Pac-12 championship. For the first time since 2000, the Huskies on top of the conference. Not the prettiest game, but wasn't much suspense to it after those 2 early interceptions in the second half thrown by Liufau. Battled through the leg injury, went 3 for 13 though. It was 3 interceptions in the 3rd quarter. turn this thing into a rout. And for Colorado, they've set the bar. They now know what they're capable of. However, they're going to have to fill in some holes. There's a lot of senior-laden guys who will be moving on. So they're going to have to look to continue to build off of the example that they've set this season. Washington, Myles Gaskin ran for 159, and he stands by with Jenny Taft.
Joe, thank you very much. Well, when Coach Peterson took over this program, he said you guys were destined to be champions. What does it feel like to be champions tonight?
It's a blessing. I mean, Coach Pete preached it to us. We bought in, and he's a great coach, great mentor. Love that dude, and man, it's a blessing. I'll just give all thanks to God, man. That's all it is.
159 yards rushing for you tonight. How effective was the running game in this offensive performance?
Y'all interviewing the wrong dude. It's the O-line, man. I'm going to tell that to y'all every day, but I wish I could bring all them dudes up here with me. They all lost right now, but they did their thing tonight, and I just love those guys. Ooh, man, they was doing it.
Well, just so you know, we did give the O-line MVP all together tonight, so they did get some love from us.
That's what I like to hear.
And last question from me, was this performance enough? I mean, you guys, a lot of talk about the playoff. Did you guys prove you deserve a spot in the playoff?
Hey, that's up to a whole bunch of people I don't know, so I don't really care either. I'm just enjoying the time I got with my brothers, and wherever that puts us, but it's all for these guys. And like I said, just all the glory to God, and man, it's just a blast out here.
All right, congratulations, and thanks for your time.
Hey.
They say players take on the personalities of their coach. Chris Peterson has these guys locked in, taking care of their own business. Trophy ceremony on the other side of this break. Chris Peterson and the Huskies, Pac-12 champions.
Rated T for teen.
Whoa, this is awful. Try it.
Oh, no, that looks gross. What is that?
You gotta try it. It's terrible.
I don't want to try it if it's terrible.
It's like mango chutney and burnt hair.
No, thank you. I have a very sensitive palate.
Just try it!
Guys, I think we should hurry up.
If you taste something bad, you want someone else to try it. It's what you do.
I can't get the taste out of my mouth.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Shh, dog.
Come on, honey, let me see that smile. Oh, let me see with me, and we can spread the happiness. Yeah, spread the happiness. Oh.
With ingredients like roasted hazelnuts and cocoa, Nutella adds a smile to any morning. One jar, so many delicious possibilities. Nutella, spread the happy.
Howard used to love life. He lost his child, and now he doesn't care if he loses everything else.
He writes letters to love, time, and death. Who did you write the letter to?
I wrote the letter to death.
Nice to meet you. Charmed, I'm sure.
You don't think I'm crazy, but I'm having conversations.
Something's starting to happen to you. This profound connection to everything.
Will Smith, Collateral Beauty, rated PG-13.
Hey, Mickey, listen, I need you to watch the kids. We had to flee the country.
The Mick special premiere, January 1st.
Can I have some more ice cream?
On Fox.
41-10 Washington winning the Pac-12 championship. Now we head down to the field. Rob Stone ready to hand out the championship trophy.
How far away are we? How far away are we?
Not at all, Rob. Do it.
Are they talking to me? We welcome you to the Pac-12 2016 Football Awards Presentation Show. Congratulations to the University of Washington on their 12th win of the year and their 12th Pac-12 title. Before we hand out the MVP and the title trophy, first we bring in the Commissioner of the Pac-12, Larry Scott. Commissioner.
Thank you, Rob. What an amazing season for the Colorado Buffaloes and the Washington Huskies. Congratulations to both teams on great seasons. I want to thank the fans for turning out and making this an amazing atmosphere for both teams. To the city of Santa Clara, the 49ers organization, to Levi Stadium, and our presenting sponsor, 76. Thanks for making this an amazing season, a great Pac-12 championship game.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now let's honor tonight's most valuable player. He was the Pac-12 Freshman Defensive Player of the Year. He had 2 interceptions tonight, including a pick 6. Tyler Rapp. Thank you. Congratulations, Taylor. And once again, we bring in the Commissioner for the trophy presentation.
Well, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate the University of Washington Huskies, President Anna-Mari Kause, Athletics Director Jen Cohen, and really delighted to present this 2006 Pac-12 Football Championship trophy to Coach Peterson and the Washington Huskies.
Well, we have Coach Chris Peterson right here. It might be tough to see him, but behind this large human being. Well, Coach, you tied a program record with your 12th win. It's the most wins Washington has had since you guys were co-national champs in 1991. What did tonight's win say to the College Football Playoff Committee?
We got a good team. They play hard. They continually get better each game. And we're just proud of them. It's a really tough league we play in, and I think they know this is a really good football team.
Do the Washington Huskies belong in the college football playoffs?
I think there's no doubt about that.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy it with your team, and hopefully we'll see you on New Year's Eve as well.
Thank you much.
So the Huskies are conference champions. Coming up after this break, more post-game coverage.
Wow, you're really festive?
Well, this time of year, there's plenty to be festive about.
Like what?
You smell like nutmeg. Like the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event. It's your last chance of the year to save big on every new Hyundai.
Oh, I'm feeling more festive already.
Wait, did you say save big?
Yep.
Oh, I think I hear holiday music now.
Oh, no, that's just my ringtone.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. This is the reason to buy now. Get up to $2,500 off the new Sonata during Hyundai holidays.
Oh, come on! You're out of line, Coach. What's out of line is the fact that I haven't had a chance to introduce KFC's brand new $10 chicken share. Perfect for 2 people. Wow! Do these come in 4 different delicious options? You bet! And they're all just $10. Wow! You have any sauce for dipping? Right here! Wow, football fans are gonna love these! Well, that's the point! Wow! It's finger licking good!
You may know us for our quality fuels. You might know we're the world's largest independent refiner, or even that we're in the Fortune 500 top 20. But did you know we've given over $100 million for children's charities, delivered more than 45,000 Meals on Wheels, and given over $10 million for higher education? To appreciate a company's true value, you have to understand the heart